Hey everybody, sorry we're fashionably late. Welcome to Apex After Dark. I sent Rex, Doublefly Rex the link. He should be coming on, or he may be taking a nap. Oh, we all know where he is.
Yeah,
He has the link, so he could come anytime.
yeah.
We're kind of chit chatting around. In case you didn't know, welcome Dave Brink from Genuine Comics. Hail, hail. Hey everybody, hey, hey. There he is, the creator of
Yeah, thank
Perfect
you for having
10.
me. Yeah,
Oh, you're welcome, man. You're
thank you for
welcome.
having me, man.
This is like a morning show to Dave. It's like what, 7 a.m. your time?
It's now 7. Yeah, yeah.
7.
But I was awake early anyway. It's far too hot to sleep. So
What's the temperature outside?
it's not that bad right now, but during the day it can be 38 degrees.
Oh, is that Celsius we're looking?
Yes, yes.
Oh,
Yeah, it
okay.
was. We work in different metrics here. Yeah,
I'm Fahrenheit, the English system, the old Fahrenheit.
yeah.
Yeah. I
I,
guess we steer clear from the metrics. I guess we're kind of. I don't know why we're fearful of it. I'm not. It gets a little
yeah,
confusing. We have to change, and we're going to have to learn this new stuff. It's all based on tens when you
yeah.
think about it.
When you use Fahrenheit, it sounds like the world is 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 being destroyed. Man, it's like 100 degrees Fahrenheit or something. You use
We
these huge
burn.
numbers, yeah. And I'm like, oh my god, people are burning up.
No kidding. Hey, let's go say hello to the chat. We got Shadowhawk Backs. Hail, how you doing?
Hey,
Let's
Shadowhawk.
get ready. Copyright warning. Oh, foil like a small angry orange man. Finbat. Oh, is it? Yeah, here we go. Finbat coming soon. Yeah, I'll be showing the Finbat trailer. I don't know if you've heard of Finbat. It's very
No.
few circles of people have heard of it. I will show the trailer during our program. And Perfect 10, number 3, only an Indiegogo. There's the link, everyone. Check it
Woo.
out. A great, great campaign from Dave Brink, Genuine Comics. And yes, hail Dave, of course, from Shadowhawk. So, Dave, let's get started. Now, um, I guess were you always a comic book fan? How did you, where did you get started in comics? I mean, reading wise, and how did you get started in your company?
Okay. When I was very young, I got introduced to. I read these European comics like Asterix. Uh, I think everyone knows Asterix, and you had
I've heard of it.
Tintin. These
Tintin.
European books, right, in Dutch. And then you had this little company here that translated American superhero comics,
Oh,
like
wow.
the bigger titles, Batman, Superman, Fantastic Four. Um, so I got introduced to those through this little publisher. So read the comics in Dutch.
Yeah.
Um, my English wasn't that great, and we didn't really have these comic shops that sold foreign books, right?
Right.
And the first superhero book that I came across and read was a large format book, which was a crossover between Superman and Spider-Man.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. I still have that. Superman
Yes,
versus Spider-Man. Yeah, I have
yeah,
that.
I
Dang,
lost
that's
that
awesome.
book. I don't have it no more. But it was the first book that I ever read, and
Yeah.
I loved it. And I was very young, and I didn't know these characters, but I wanted to know more. So I began to read these other books, and it took me a little while to learn that these characters didn't belong in the same universe. So there were
Right.
multiple publishers. So I began to discover all these things with all these different publishers from the United States, and I began to read original um, publications because many books weren't translated here. So
Yeah.
all we had here were the bigger titles, but then you had smaller titles like New Mutants or whatever, and so I learned those through reading the original imported comics,
Oh yeah, man.
and I was hooked when I was hooked on superhero stuff, man. That was fantastic.
Yeah, getting back to Superman versus Spider-Man, my dad bought me a copy of that when I was like 12 or 13, and I
Yeah.
was like, because he would grew up reading Superman. He actually had the Action Comics #1, which a neighbor borrowed and never returned it because the neighbor moved out. And I was
Oh
like,
no!
that sucked. That he could
Don't
have,
don't borrow that to people. Oh no!
especially that one. Oh my God.
Oh no!
He could have had like a $3 million book. It depends on the condition, of course, but
Oh
so it was cool actually seeing him because Spider-Man was my favorite character and his was Superman, and we kind of bonded on that as well as
no!
Star Wars later on stuff. But
Right.
yeah, Shellhawk had a copy of it. I still have it. He still has the Superman Spider-Man. Plus, he has the Muhammad Ali one with Neil Adams producing that one. But yeah, that was awesome. I still have that copy of the Superman
Let me
Spider-Man. But wow,
one one sec. I have to close the window here.
no problem, man. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and share and see, take a look at your campaign. It's a pretty awesomely cool. There we go. Well, we thanks for coming on, everyone, for Apex After Dark. We have the perfect 10 showing up. Yeah, here we
Oh,
go.
Carrie is here.
Oh, Carrie's here. Hey, Carrie.
Hello, Carrie.
Let me go say hello to the chat again. Hail, hail. Yes, Carrie, Shellhawk, Dave, of course. Let's go ahead and go and take a look at your campaign. Where it is, it's 16,122. That's pretty good. You have 3 campaigns
Yes,
from.
we went over 16,000 this week, and then
Oh,
we dipped below again, and now we're up again. So yeah,
hell yeah, man. Well, it's the featured tier. You have the both covers. Oh, yeah, both covers plus Crossworlds. What is Crossworlds? Is
okay.
it?
There was there is this creator called Andre Lille, and he approached me for because he had this idea to do a crossover story between his character Camilo Wallace
Mm,
plus Perfect 10, and he had this digital concept for it, and he wanted to publish it through Antarctic Press.
okay.
So he needed my permission for all of that, and I was like, okay, sounds great, but I want to publish it also. Um,
Yeah.
so it will be published through Antarctic Press and also
Oh.
through us, but I needed a new title for it because it's not technically Perfect 10. It's just
Mm,
crossover. It's something else. It's out of continuity. And I thought, why not start a series for crossovers
oh
with
yeah, man.
other publishers? So Cross Worlds became the title, and this is the first
Yeah.
issue, and
Hey.
it's
Yeah.
done. It's printed. It's completely
Looks
done.
smoking
I
hot,
have it
Dave.
here.
Looks
Hey
Oh
smoking.
Rex,
yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
Dave.
try that again. I didn't see that there. Oh yeah, there it is. There's the
it's
Crossworlds.
it's
Yeah.
completely done. It's printed. So yeah,
Ah,
it's
it's a beautiful book.
it looks great. The art is
Yeah, that's a
fantastic.
great concept of the crossworlds with
I like.
crossovers and stuff.
Yeah, I like that,
Yeah.
man.
So every I don't know if we will have many crossover titles with other publishers because it can be a bit of a hassle
Yeah.
Yeah,
to arrange it. But if it happens, we have this title and it will be published under Crossworlds. So yeah.
Oh damn, that's pretty hot, man. That's really hot.
yeah.
Yeah, let's get to this. Man, I'm really liking this campaign here. Woo woo. All right.
Look at this. Look at this art you see now. This is from Randy Green, man.
Oh wow.
Randy Green. I'm such a fan of Randy Green. I have comics from him. I collected books that he did, and then at one point my own. So the artist that I work with, Paul Rodrigues, he's the artist for Perfect 10. He is from the industry, so he knows people from the industry. And at some
Uh,
point, he told me, "Do you want to do variant covers or extra prints?" Yeah, I'm like, yeah, sure, man. So he was like, what about Randy Green? And I was like, I would love that, but I can't afford Randy Green. I don't know Randy Green. And he was
Right.
and he told me, but I do. He's my friend. So Pau arranged this.
Oh, that's
Wow.
cool. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it was mind blowing, man. I was so excited that this happened. Yeah, man.
Now,
You never know till you try, do you? I mean, some things just fall in your lap like that, but
Yes, yes.
never say never. You know, oh, I couldn't get him. He'd be too much. He probably didn't do it. And, you know.
right.
Yeah,
Uh,
but nowadays I'm working with other people from the industry that I know that I have books of, and it's like once one door opens, new doors open up, and my network expands into these people that know each other. And Powers like, I'm working on this fantastic comic called Perfect 10. So check it out, and his friends go check it out, and things happen, man. It's
Wow.
crazy.
It's absolutely beautiful work. Now,
yeah, I mean
Red,
the colors really pop.
yeah.
Yeah, the colors are by Daniel Rodriguez, and he was also someone that Pau brought on when we
Oh,
when we first started the campaign. I didn't have a colorist yet, and Pau told me, uh, I, I know someone. You can give him a try, and I sent him some test pages, and he did great work. So now he's the regular colorist for this series.
oh man, that's absolutely cool. You get all three issues in digital for 20 European or 21 US, and a Perfect 10 issue 3 both covers for 26 European or 27 US. That's pretty
Are
competitively
you shipping
priced.
everywhere, Dave?
Yes,
Okay.
Wow,
yes,
that's
I'm
great.
I'm shipping through Critical Blast, so this helps me to keep the shipping costs as low as possible. I think the shipping are like $12 worldwide.
Mm,
So
Wow.
um, and
Yeah.
I'm printing here from the Netherlands, right? So $12, and it doesn't matter where you live, Australia, wherever.
wow, that's great.
Now I know through eBay that they kind of take care of that, but I mean, as far as my overseas international, but I don't think they give you that quite a good deal. How is Critical Blast getting like a flat rate anywhere?
Um, well, we took some kind of of average, and then
Uh,
he has
oh, okay.
Captain Time Lord
Hey,
Spark.
Captain Spock, hail,
Hey
Captain.
there, hey
Hey.
there. And then he has some locations that are the primary locations that
In the countries.
yeah, that we send it to. So
Right.
so 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 America, but also Australia, and he now has one in Europe.
Wow.
But I will take care of Europe myself, and he has one in England right now. So
So he will ship them to you and then you will distribute them from there.
no, I will ship it to him. So the
Okay.
books
No, I
will
mean
will
for Europe, for Europe.
Yeah.
Or
yeah,
you
yeah,
just send them
yeah,
from, you'll send some copies from your place.
yes.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, that's the most of it, because most of my customers are not from Europe.
Hmm.
I think
Right.
95% is like America, and then I have like a percentage Australia, and the rest is Europe. So yeah.
Why do you feel like that is? Because I mean, in Europe, comics have such a higher regard, higher reputation than in America.
Yeah, yeah, you have a different style of comics right here. You have more Anglo-Saxon comics. So people do read comics here, but it's a different style usually. And there is this audience for American books, but it's very niche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, now
yeah,
what style are you shooting for? I guess American.
yeah, American. This is
Yeah.
everything that I do is based on the format that I know from Marvel, DC. So
Okay.
it's the exact same dimensions. It's the same style. I'm trying to go for the 90s style. I really love that
Oh no,
ultra
too.
dynamic style. Yeah,
All right.
I
Yeah,
hear that a lot.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm
We
trying
miss
to
that, man.
recapture the '90s, and I'm like, oh, Bill Clinton. I wouldn't
All
even bring him back to Arkansas.
right. Just the '90s, the Image guys and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
of
many
course.
younger. You must be younger than me, Dave.
I don't know.
I'm 56, so you must be younger.
I'm younger. Yes, yes.
Yeah,
Good for you. Live to be 200, Dave.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Live a long life. Keep drinking that wine. You'll be fine.
Yes, absolutely. Get
Yeah,
rid
I'm
of-
really jiving on the designs and stuff like that armor suit,
Oh
floating
yeah,
skull. That's always great.
that's cool.
So you were
Yeah.
primarily a Marvel guy and not DC, huh?
No, I read everything, but I think
Right.
most of the comics that I have are Marvel because most of those characters appeal to me.
Okay.
Yeah,
And DC was too much focused on a few characters like Batman, Superman, and everything revolved around that,
Hmm.
and that got pretty boring. I thought
yeah,
Yeah.
I usually like the characters that you don't often see much, that aren't pushed to the foreground.
Yeah.
I wanted
Yeah.
to know those characters, you know.
Well, it's almost like if you don't hear from an elected candidate, he must be all right, right? I mean, the more he gets out there, he loses popularity. If he's really bad. So some of these characters, they don't get pushed out much, and you can imagine them doing a good job in the comics if you'd only give them a break.
Yes.
Hey, Hexalon. What's up?
Yeah, I like a lot
Hello,
of the
X.
characters that you really have to be a geek to know.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah,
man.
right, yeah. But this is also why these characters like Superman and Batman, they have like a gazillion side characters and versions, and that's
Yeah.
because they only make the most books of these characters. So these characters get the most stories. So writers create new characters specifically for these stories, and often these characters are derivative because these characters are popular. So they want to expand as much as possible, and it gets really boring to me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine how many stories have been done with Batman and how dense that universe is?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, Batman's a universe within a universe. He's
Oh,
got such
yes,
yeah,
he
yeah,
has the
but
best rogues gallery, though. I have to admit.
yeah,
yeah,
but the same
yeah,
with Wolverine, for instance. Wolverine at some point he was pushed so much that he appeared in every other title.
yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
God. Yeah.
You saw him everywhere, and I'm like just keep him in the X-Men and give him his solo book, and that's plenty for me, you know.
Right,
Absolutely.
yeah. Yeah, they overplay it, don't they? What's your favorite Marvel character?
Oh, that's difficult to say, man.
It's
I
always
usually
difficult. I
yeah.
ask it.
No
Yeah,
kidding.
I don't really know. It's usually the combination of characters
Okay, how
that
about
I like.
top 3 or 5?
Yeah, yeah. We have, for instance, you have the X-Men, the classic X-Men, and
Right?
then it's the group dynamic that makes it cool. It's not one particular character. You can take one out like Wolverine, but the fact that he belongs to this group with other characters, with other personalities, that makes it work. You know.
Man, that's true, man. Ooh, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine Perfect 10 being, a possibility, maybe a TV series, possibly produced. You're familiar with Jerry Anderson, like UFO and Space 1999?
No.
Okay.
He was British. Yeah, he
I have a trailer I want to show you guys. I'm enthusiastic about it. This one is from Jerry Anderson. He's a creator, of course. UFO came in like the early 70s, and it was in Britain. It's been distributed very much worldwide back in the day.
he did
There we go.
Thunderbirds.
Thunderbirds, yeah, Thunderbirds, Captain Scarlet, and the Mysterons.
Mm-hmm.
It's like those marionette puppet things. You seen that before,
Yeah,
Dave?
yeah. The
Oh,
Thunderbirds. I know the Thunderbirds. Yeah.
okay, yeah, he's the same guy who
Ah,
produced
you
the
might.
live act. Good, I
So
figured there'd be a connection.
what was his role there with the Thunderbirds?
This reminds, yeah,
He
I
was the
think
producer.
he's a producer
Oh,
of it.
he's the producer. Okay,
Yeah, producer. Plus, he produced live action shows like Space 1999. Have you heard of that?
I
No,
don't
he's
think
already
No.
said
so.
no.
He said no. Well,
He's
okay,
too
I'll expose
young.
you. Okay, I'll tell you what. Yeah, I know you're. We'll go and pop your cherry on this one there.
Oh,
See where that
Right.
goes. We'll
Be
see.
gentle.
Oh yeah, be gentle, of course. Yeah, right. Yeah. So let me go ahead and
yeah, I love the space
expand it.
news.
Oh, good man.
Yeah, the classic music.
Oh yeah, that's groovy.
I love that car, man.
And it's set in the future, 1980.
I like this.
That's awesome.
Futuristic wig. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yes, awesome.
Woo.
Well,
That
some
brings
things
Oh,
they got right about the future, right? The
yeah.
vision about the futures. Some
I
things they
did
got
that.
right. The purple hair.
Yeah, I like the moon chicks
Yeah.
with the purple hair, man. That got me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the '60s going into the '70s. You know, with all the styles and stuff for
Yes,
Britain.
yes. The
Yeah,
way they saw the future back then.
yeah. I can
That.
imagine Perfect Tim being in that kind of universe. That's my opinion, but
Oh
Yeah,
right.
if
Oh,
they had a moon base on the moon in
yeah,
1980, why don't we have one now?
yeah. You think maybe China has one? I don't know, man.
I don't
You
even want to
think?
think about that.
I don't know. Maybe that's science fiction itself. How do we know? What do
Hmm.
we know what the Chinese are doing?
Yeah, we need to put a base on the moon and blow it out of orbit and like
Yeah,
Space
we do.
1999.
Moon base, make it happen. Come on, Commander Straker.
Yeah.
That's what
Now,
we need.
what was the purpose of that wonderful trailer?
That's that trailer in relation to Perfect 10 should. I'm thinking, in my opinion, could actually, if Jerry Anderson would have had a Perfect 10 like Dave Brink's character, put it into a TV show, I think that might fit in because she has her costume kind of reminds me a bit of the tight costumes that they had back in the '70s with UFO and all that. That kind of struck a chord with me. And so I was watching a little bit of that Jerry Anderson documentary on UFO, how the second season of UFO never happened, but it
Right.
evolved into Space 1999.
Yep, that's
Yeah,
what happened.
it's crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were expanding on the moon base because the little moon base looked like soccer balls cut in half and were
Yeah, it
connected by
did.
tubes, very small. And they had three interceptors with
Yeah,
three, and you saw those lifting off of the moon in that trailer where they had like nuclear torpedo, but they only had one shot. Now, what if you had four UFOs and you got three interceptors? That never made any sense to me. If you
yeah,
had six UFOs trying to invade your airspace, what are you going to do with three shots?
yeah. Three shots of it. Shoot, you may
Yeah,
pass by, and we know these UFOs are much faster than the ones predicted in this TV show. We've seen like the Navy has spotted those Tic Tac UFOs. You can't even keep up with those things. I'm thinking, how are those guys? I mean, you have rockets coming from the damn sea, from a
yeah,
submarine. That's not going to catch a UFO,
yeah. I saw the little Tic Tac recently
right?
on
Yeah,
discussion, or actually Ancient Aliens. That's Ancient Aliens
no.
season 15 has been better than 14 that had William Shatner in it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, man.
because I like taking to the locales and stuff. Does your country have some ancient sites or tourist things? I'm sure it does, Dave.
Yeah, sure, but nothing with UFOs or something.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
Well, I'm not a believer anyway, to tell you the truth.
you
I'll
don't believe
believe it when
there's
I
there's
see it.
there's life out there. You mean?
Well, I have seen a UFO in broad daylight while fishing, along with my
Really?
uh, father-in-law at the time, and yeah, it was hovering above my head and then zigzagged off, not at high speed. I got to see it for like 15, 20 minutes in broad daylight.
So how far away would it be from you? I mean, when you were fishing, like way, like maybe a few
Well,
miles
it's
up,
hard
or
to judge distance in the sky, but
yeah.
it was featureless. It was long like a cigar, slightly tapered at one end, the end that was closest to me, and
Wow.
it just slowly gained altitude, kind of zigzagged from my position over toward more the center of the states. It went sort of south. Let's see, I guess that would be southwest.
That's awesome. I never knew
And
you.
you
Yeah.
see a jet. I saw a jet like because we were still out there fishing, right?
Hmm?
I wouldn't have ever knew it was there. It didn't make any noise, didn't have a vapor trail or
Wow.
anything. If it was it didn't. It was actually, it was controlled um, flight because it wasn't like drifting like a balloon or anything like that. And
Huh.
about 45 minutes later, you look up in the sky and you see this jet with a trail behind him, of course.
Yeah.
And it seems like to your eye from that distance and that height that it's moving so slow across the sky, right?
Yeah.
This thing flew. It's still, I mean, to be in vision for 15, 20 minutes, um,
So Tom Ward
it's
says,
obvious.
don't far forgot the part of the story when he necked the acid.
Hmm, yeah.
What?
Hmm. Well,
Mm.
back to Dave's Perfect 10, it looks like one of the best campaigns that went up on Indiegogo, actually.
Yeah, I agree,
But
man.
but but Rex, if you saw that, how come you don't believe?
Because it's a
It's
UFO. It's an unidentified flying object. So
Oh.
what? I mean, till they land and they go, "Hi, I'm ET. I don't guess I'm going to are
right.
trying to abduct
Hi,
me."
I'm ET.
I mean, it could be a government vehicle. I don't know. I
Mm,
can't explain. There's a lot of things I can't explain, Dave. But
mm,
That's true.
still, you know,
Yeah.
and you have to draw your own conclusions. But um,
Right.
actually, I guess to be real about my answer, I don't preclude that there's a chance of life out there. I just don't think it exists.
Hmm.
mm.
I think, from my own religious belief, that it's now that makes me narrow-minded and in the minority. I know, to some people a little wonky, but um, I think people that believe in aliens are a little wonky. So we're all the same. Let's live long and prosper together.
Right.
Right.
Agreed.
Yes.
I
But
love you just the same, Dave.
sure, man. No, but it's
I'm
it's it's
thinking. I'm thinking.
But I
What?
do have a plot device to put aliens in my books. Now that's kind
Okay.
of cheap, but
Oh wow. Okay.
also time travel and everything else I hate about, cheating. But that's okay. I've got a good device for that, and it is fiction. It's going to be fun, and eventually I'll do away with those pesky aliens, probably, because I mean, I
right.
don't, I'm not going to be a big pusher of aliens because
Why the hell do they travel in cigar-shaped vehicles? You think so
I don't
like the
know, but
old
in America, the first one cited was a cigar shape.
Yeah.
So I found that very fascinating. That like in 1870 something,
Uh-huh.
the very first one reported was cigar shape.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think I remember the depictions and stuff and then, like on those shows that they see a lot in the early 70s, they always have big huge UFO phenomena, Easter Island and all that. I
I
mean,
may
yeah.
f up time travel, Captain, but
Uh-oh.
with better experts like yourself, perhaps we can steer clear of the things. I'll probably take option two, like you say.
Yeah, it could be option 2. Captain Moses Tomlin.
Either that or I'll
Time
panic and
travel.
launch the nukes. I'll punch the red button and we'll all be doomed.
Right? Doomed. Oh,
But you're
no.
making your own book, Rex.
Oh yeah, Dave. Did you not know?
Oh
Oh my
yes. Yeah.
goodness.
Let's
In
show
fact,
the
this my icon here
it's Devil
is
Flyer.
this
Yeah.
devil flyer. Yeah.
Oh, Devilfly, of course. That's what. Yeah. Okay.
Well, it's going to be an anthology. You know, I'm going to have multiple characters, and have been in the process with Vic King and Diller Draws and even hockey, Alley and Hockey Show down Australia. Just and Apex Comics here.
Yeah.
He's going to do Sea Demon
Sea,
for me.
sea Demon, yeah.
There's Interman. There's Bog. There's different titles. There's Grave Tales, which Bog is in. There'll be 3 horror titles and 3 hero titles in it in the beginning.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
I think
So
this thing's gonna be like 72 plus pages, man.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll be that big, but it'll be well over 50. Yeah.
At least that. Between that, maybe 64. I'm thinking maybe 64.
Doc's getting pretty close to finishing Grave Tales, and it looks stunning. I've
Oh,
got
that's
to tell
cool,
you,
man.
it's going to set a good tone for the book. His art really lent to that. And he said, man, I've leveled up on this. I'm like, yeah, you really have. He says, I may have to go back and redraw some of my own book because he took a hiatus of working on Pariah Blood and Mud, the
Yeah.
story about a woman and a golem to do this story for me. And it looks stunning. I've seen some pages and it looks really good. He's within the striking distance of 1 or 2 pages, and it'll be a 9-page story itself. And then Devil Flyer's like 29 pages,
Oh, damn, that's right. Yeah.
and so that'll be the bulk of the book there. But I'm really having fun doing these short stories. These
Yeah, they're fun.
and I'm doing a variety. I have a ghost story. I was going to have a werewolf story, but I think I've got
Ooh.
something more exciting than that. Everybody
Okay.
has to have the obligatory werewolf. Now, Dave, I saw that you had like a werewolf character, but he was like colored pink or
No, it's
magenta.
red. It's a red werewolf.
Okay.
Red Wolf.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You did have one.
He's a ginger. So,
Oh,
so
okay.
when he turns, he's completely ginger. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool. Yeah.
That's
I
cool.
Now does he have a mind? Does he kind of control himself, or is he just a beast?
No, he's smart. He is smart, and
He's
he's
smart. Okay.
and he's half cybernetic also.
Now, can I ask you
Damn.
what year this is set in?
It's just modern time.
Modern
Okay.
time. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's very futuristic.
Yeah, well, that's the same with the universes that I grew up with, like Marvel, DC. They have all this crazy technology and alien shit, and I don't know, it's
Yeah.
and still takes place in modern days.
Could be like UFO 1980.
Yeah,
Yes.
UFO.
Why did they set that? Why
1980.
did they not even set that into the future more?
So
I
at
mean,
least 40 or 50 years.
it was made in
God.
'69, came out in '70, and they set
Yeah.
it in 1980.
10 years.
But yes, I do want to drive Stryker's car. That
I love
was a
that car,
futuristic,
man. That's cool. First time I saw it, I was like, oh, yeah. I like that.
aerodynamic. And now we have cars like that. So that was the one thing they got right was the car.
They did. I was like, I want a car just like that.
That's
I
a
mean,
Saturn. I want to drive
yeah.
a Saturn.
First time I saw a UFO was like 1973. That's when it came out in the States, I think.
Oh,
After the Verge series ended, and they started issuing it out to the States. And I remember seeing that on cable TV.
yeah, for a short time on Saturday morning cartoons, they actually reissued. I mean, they showed some episodes of it, and I got to see it again. That was very rare with TV back then because you didn't have players, you couldn't record it. Once
Yeah.
they showed it, it was gone.
Hmm.
Even
Yeah,
before that
man.
stuff came out, they had live TV, and that wasn't recorded at all.
Yeah.
So once it was
So,
shown, it was shown. It was gone forever.
yeah, it's like, well, I can't see it anymore. Now we have all this kind of media. We have
I'm old enough
DVDs
to
and stuff.
remember when TV came into color, and that was a big
Yeah.
selling point. The Fugitive in color, the
I
Invasion
know.
in color.
Color.
Yeah, The Fugitive was the first season was in black and white, and the second
Yeah.
season was in color.
Yeah. It
So
was
that you have certain ones like the Invaders and Fugitives
all of the
that were
invaders.
talked about in color, and most
Invader.
people were still singing in black and white. They didn't have a color TV yet.
No.
Yeah, but now color TV goes all the way back. Oh, I mean, one early thing was oh Pancho, oh Vio. Uh, it was Western in the early 50s.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, it's a Pancho
Yeah,
Villa.
that I had the
Oh,
complete
oh,
set of that, and it's all in color. I love early TV and stuff like
yeah,
that because it was a benchmark. It was we went to the moon. As much as we had Vietnam and we had the civil rights movement, and it was a turbulent time, and you had Haight Ashbury, and you had, um, trying to think of the big concert they had. Where all the Hillary Clintons at the time went.
oh
Um,
Lord. Woodstock.
Up in New York. What is
Woodstock. Woodstock.
Woodstock? Thank you, thank you. I actually had a friend that when he was 18, he took off and he went to Woodstock. Now he didn't get there the first day because it took him a while to get up there, but he was there at Woodstock.
Wow, that's awesome.
Sadly, passed away in 2010. But
Oh, God rest his
yeah, I
soul.
mean, it was neat to talk to people that experienced that bit of history. I talked to a gentleman about 6 months ago. He was 101 years old. I
Whoa.
love talking to people that are older than myself. That makes me
Yeah.
feel good for one thing, Dave. Uh, but yeah, I mean, just to talk to somebody. If you could talk to anybody you in the comic field, living or dead, who would it be, Dave? You ever think about that?
Oh, John Byrne, I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, he's still living, so you might
Still
have a
alive.
shot at
He's
that
still
one.
living. Yes,
Maybe,
yes.
yeah.
A living legend,
Yeah.
man.
Hmm.
Yeah. How about dead?
Stanley.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really sad when he passed away, and I
That
don't
too.
usually have that with famous people, unless I don't know them, but for some reason
Right.
Stanley represented something that meant something to me.
Well, I got to
Yeah.
meet Stan Lee one time,
That
and
too.
he didn't know anything about the comics at that point, because he was kind of more of a promoter,
Hmm.
uh,
Mm,
and they weren't treating my character right. In fact, he lost all of his hair. Um, my favorite character is the Beast from the X-Men, but not the
Yeah.
traditional Beast that looks more human. It's the Beast with the blue hair that was in the
yes.
Avengers.
The
And so
furry
when they
beast.
took him back to his original state, I was like, why did the Beast lose his hair? One of those cryptic questions, right?
Yeah,
He
he's
said,
in the X
he,
Factor
he turns
in the
around. I
80s.
think it was Tom DeFalco behind him, and he said, "What? The Beast is bald?"
All right.
They said he was
It's his
giving
fur.
free autographs at that time, but they were limiting you to one book. And this
Right.
snarky little
Blade
kid with
Runner.
glasses, I wanted to
Cool.
slap him on the head, take his comics. He
Shaking.
put
Yeah.
six in front of Stan, and Stan signed all six of them.
Right.
Oh man, Shadowhawk
Yeah,
Talk says he got stalked to Stanley about 3 minutes on the radio,
that's cool.
Wow.
and Time Lord Spot wants to meet Howard Shakin. Yeah, he'd be cool. He'd be really cool.
Yeah, he studied under Gil Kane.
He did. One of my
Yeah, he
favorite
was.
artists. Oh man.
Oh yeah, Gil Kane's wonderful. Is John Byrne one of your favorite artists, Dave?
Yes, definitely.
Oh
And one
yeah.
of my favorite writers also.
Oh sure.
His run on Fantastic Four is still my favorite run on Fantastic
Oh
Four.
man.
It's
Yeah. Okay, is that your favorite stuff? I mean, even over the X-Men stuff of his earlier
Hey,
years?
Death Pusher.
his X-Men work is phenomenal. Is Man of Steel. Yeah, it's
Ah, that's good. Yeah.
everything that he does was basically awesome. His latest work, he made some in recent years. Um, it's not quite that good. I think he lost that edge that working with other people's characters gave him. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and you can tell that he really lost the Fantastic Four, for instance. That
Yeah.
that's when you read it, you can just
Well, I
tell
don't know if you
this
knew it, but
this writer knows what he's
his
doing.
first comic book as a
Oh,
kid
Bernie
was
Wrightson,
Fantastic
yeah,
Four #5, the first appearance of Doctor Doom,
Yes.
and arguably one of the best earliest issues because it's inked by Joe Sinnott. Joe Sinnott would not ink Jack Kirby's work for like another 4 years after that, which doesn't
Right.
seem very long, but that's from like issue 5 to issue 40 something. That's a long time in comics.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Bernie Wrightson. Yeah, I'd like to
I
meet
love
Bernie
Bernie
Wrightson.
Wrightson.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I did meet Bernie Wrightson. Yeah,
Now,
haven't
I imagine you're like me,
was
Dave.
lucky.
You try and put different artists and play to their strengths, don't they? Don't you? And do
Well,
you do all the writing?
no, I don't do all the writing. I do most of the writing, but recently I started to work with other writers because I now have this series called Power Trip, and this is a anthology series with shorter stories. And I like to put different creative teams on different stories. So I provide them the concepts. So the concepts I make for them,
Mm.
and then I tell them, "Go nuts, man! Make whatever you want."
You are Stan Lee. I need to get your
Heck yeah,
autograph.
all right, yeah. Excelsior.
Excelsior. Enough. I know Dave Brink can take a
Hey,
selfie.
Ice Queen. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello,
It
Ice
was great
Queen.
talking with Ice Cream earlier.
I know.
Yesterday.
I always want to say ice cream.
It's Ice Cream. Ice
You know,
Cream.
because
She's
I can't
here.
say ice
Yeah,
queen.
for ice cream. Hey, it's ice cream. All right. X is older than. Oh, X is great though. Yeah.
Notice he veiled it with a typo, not
Yeah, with a
Rex.
pecs.
Pecs. Now I'm
Pecs.
a peck. I see how it is. Out of the
Double.
way,
Do you have
peck.
double pecs? Double pecs. Yeah, work out the gym. Ah. Yeah.
So you're creating the comics that you would have liked to read as a kid, right, Dave?
Right.
Yes, yes, I'm very much influenced by what I read and what I liked, um, and so some characters that I have are kind of allegories to characters that I grew up with, and I make my own versions. For instance, I have my own. So I have Captain America, and I have my own character called American Bliss, which is a combination between Captain America and Wonder Woman.
Ooh.
Yeah,
So I can
yeah,
use things that I love and combine them and make something new.
Oh man.
right.
Yeah.
I find it very interesting working with other artists, and seeing my
Uh,
concepts and
Yes.
sometimes it may just be a concept. That's the great thing about it. I just describe it to Vic or some other artist, and they like whip it out for me, and I'll go, no, that's not quite right, or yeah, that
Whip it
looks
out for me.
on it.
Yeah.
I kind of like working that way. It saves
Right.
me a lot of time at the drawing board.
absolutely. Yeah.
Now, now you said something real key with John Byrne. I want to kind of circle back to it. Uh, that he was a fan, and I find that Alex Ross is a fan. I find certain artists you just know they're fan of the material and they're chomping at the bit to, like for R.T. Bear, he always wanted to draw more Batman. But he always got to work on Superman. That's the way sometimes it worked out because,
Yeah.
like you said, these aren't your characters. But I think like Steve Rude when Apex and I were interviewing him, he said, "Well, it's like passing the torch to another
Yes.
generation that'll pick up these characters. You almost have a duty." But like what you were saying about John Byrne, he when it came to kind of like doing lab rats and some of the other things that were his unique properties, he was a little bit more lax, it seemed like, in his art
Mhm.
than if it was say, okay, we're going to put you on Spider-Man. But he did make Time magazine with his Superman. How many comic artists has done that
Not many.
with his Man
Yeah,
of
but
Steel?
but you
Yeah.
need that. You need to love uh, what you work on. You also see this with Chris Claremont
Yes.
on the X-Men. He really understood the characters,
Mhm.
and his stories are legendary. And if you compare that to nowadays, to writers nowadays, they don't care. They don't care about the canon, the lore. They don't know the characters. They can only write from their own
Mhm.
view, so characters become self-inserts instead of their own character. Um, and writers like Claremont and Byrne, they got that. They
Not shocked.
what they did was in service of the book, of the story, and of the characters. You know.
Mhm. Yeah, after 20 years, I would hope that he knew the characters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yes.
So the longest runs I think on about any writer I think
I
on
think
X Men.
I think the early 80s is when it really took off, where the focus was on writers and artists. And actually, I think the big two are not letting the writers and the artists get too big, which I
Yeah,
think, you know, I say let them get as big as they can. It can only help sales, but that doesn't seem to be their priority nowadays.
yeah. Did you
So it
know that?
really opens up an opportunity for independent publishers like you and I and Apex, huh?
Mm, exactly.
We'll take. I love Todd McFarlane's attitude with Spawn. If they're going to give me that 301 on numbering, I'm going to take it because they keep. Well, they get up to 300 and then let's do another 100 issue.
Mm.
Right.
And they'll count that number one as 301. That double numbering drives me crazy. Why
Yeah.
not say, I mean, one of the biggest blunders, like you hear about Paramount Pictures, they canceled the original Star Trek, and now it's a big property for them, especially after Star Wars. Um,
Yeah.
it is uh, the big blunder to renumber everything. They like Adventure Comics went 503 issues, just celebrated 500 issues. It's an anthology. It can be anything you want.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
put your best, your Wolverine character in there or whatever, like they made new Avengers, it became more popular than the X-Men because they put their best characters in there. And someone had the genius to put a very sexy Spider-Woman on there because I always
Oh
wanted
yeah.
to see more Spider-Woman. She
Oh,
got very
absolutely.
solid costume.
Yeah. I'll tell you, that's true.
But
Getting back
just,
to John Byrne,
an anthology you can do anything with. Why do you have to cancel the title? It's been running
yeah.
since the 30s.
By the way,
Kill me.
by the way,
Right.
as a kid, I never understood the Spider-Woman character, the powers. I
Yeah.
didn't get it. She could
Well, you didn't
fly.
watch the cartoon,
She could
Dave.
shoot like beams. I'm like, what kind of spider is that?
Yeah. It's
Well, it was a venom blast.
yeah. It was Venom.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
She was originally a Hydra agent that
Yeah,
was
she was
experimented
Hydra.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. When she was much younger, her father was as a scientist of Hydra, and I think
Went
she
up
got
against Nick Fury and Shield and
yeah.
others.
Mhm.
And then she went to the other side to fight against Hydra on Shield.
Yep.
So he has a bit of a history there for her.
Well, if I don't say this, there'll be some out in the chat probably get mad. So here goes.
Oh,
Hell Hydra.
oh man, I
We're
love
having fun here tonight, Dave. I
yeah,
don't mean to dissuade away from your comics at all, but
No,
that's
no,
part
man.
of it. Comics are fun, aren't they? I don't care if
Yes.
you're 99 years old; they're fun if you
Yes.
like.
Indie comics are fun. Yeah.
Oh,
oh
indie
damn right,
comics are fun, yeah. And we're going
yeah,
to take, I believe, like Apex and you and I, we're going to take over this slot that they've created for us with this woke political stuff that they put in their comics that people are hating nowadays.
they hate it.
They're obviously hemorrhaging and bleeding money, and we're going to come in and like some vulture and just eat on that carcass as much as we can. Get fat, and we'll
Yes.
retire millionaires, Dave. We will.
Yes.
I will get your autograph one day. I'll make enough money to come over there and get your autograph
Absolutely.
and meet you and shake your hand. How about that?
When
sounds
when
great.
people complain about the state of modern corporate comics, I'm like, what's there to complain about? Just let them self-destruct. You know,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
this
While your
this is
enemy
our
is
time now. Yeah.
while your enemy is fighting amongst itself, just let it happen. Get out of the way.
yeah, right.
Absolutely. This is our time. Hoorah!
That's right. Let Marvel DC flounder and wail and be jealous of these indie creators. Well,
Well,
they
thank
could
you
have done
for
the
giving
same
my
thing.
Thanks for giving my life purpose, Dave. Now I can put it on my bucket list. Go see Dave Brink in the Netherlands. Get his autograph.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
Some barbecue, and then go home.
I'd love
sounds
to
like a
meet you
good time.
sometime, man. That would be great.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
cool.
Absolutely. And I'm glad I finally got it through your thick skull that I'm a comic creator too.
Yeah. Sorry, didn't pick up on that, man. Sorry about that.
That's all right. I love you, brother.
That's right.
You
man.
know I do. You always bring a smile to my face when you come in the chat. I mean, I'm like,
I know. Hey, by the way, you said that your main title was 29 pages, right?
That's pretty good.
So
Yeah.
why don't you make that a single book?
a separate book.
Yes.
Hey,
Why put it
Well,
together with other
How you doing?
stories?
Well,
Hello, Timbergenie.
because I embrace the
Genie.
dark side, Dave, of the Force.
Right.
I'm doing everything that I said I would never do. I've really had to change in midstream of doing things with this project. It's like I was developing another character, which will now be in the book, and will be in that 9-page Grave Tale stories that Doc's doing. Because since 2015, I've been working on my Swamp character, and not as much on some of these other characters. But as I draw the string tighter, I'm really trying to knock it out of the park on these backup stories to show people that I can write. They'll know by this first issue whether they're going to invest in another comic by me or not. And I really had to do that in the backup stories because I don't think I've really conveyed that in the first story. And I think maybe that's an art stylized issue, but and I did try and work the Stan Lee method in that, which was you do the art and then I'll put in the dialogue. Well, I'm not doing that again, Dave.
Yeah, that sounds really challenging, man.
It is. If he does not
yeah.
depict the character with his mouth open, for one thing, I can't put dialogue in it, and it makes sense.
No. It
So
doesn't
what
work
is
like that.
so Rex? What's the name of your swamp character?
Bog. Now I realize
Bog,
that
okay.
Bog's kind of a generic name, but after all these years, I still have not found up a better name for
Dojo
him.
Kun Comics also has a Bog character.
Which comics?
Dojo. Yeah, I knew that. I said, "Oh
Oh.
no," when he came out with that. But
Yeah, there's one
yeah,
in
it's
the 40s called the Muck. I remember.
yeah.
Oh,
And
the
believe
Heap.
me, I've
The
I've
Heap.
racked,
Sorry, the Heap. My bad.
The Heat.
I've racked my brains. Sorry about that, Apex. You were taking a drink there. Now.
Ah, it's
But But yeah, I've racked my brain because the two big, you have Man Thing and you have Swamp Thing. So I'm trying Bog Thing. What can I call him?
Bog.
Yes.
Which I know I could call him the Heap,
Oh
That's
yeah,
public domain
it's
name.
public domain.
but I don't
Hey,
want to call
What
him the Heap.
does
No,
what
this Bog
does
is
the-
great.
what does the word bog mean?
Well, a bog is different. It's like after the Ice Age, you have a canyon or an indentation, right, where the ice used to be, and so vegetation grows there. You can actually put your arm all the way. I mean, it's just one layer of vegetation grown up on another layer upon another layer upon another layer, and that's a bog. It's different than a swamp.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's I guess how it's formed.
Mhm.
But there's are similarities. It is kind of like a swamp, but it's
Right.
it's real spongy under your feet. Not that I was in one, but you can look
Yeah.
up. I did research on YouTube and about what a bog was, and that's where I learned a lot of the facts. But
Yes.
I spell his name a little different, so maybe Dojo won't be. I spell it with 2 G's, Bogg. I think I'll say
Right.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have racked my brain for a better name for this character. You
It's
can't,
sometimes challenging to find the right names for certain characters.
and then
Yeah.
like Silver Boa, which is going to be my next black and white film noir type book.
Silver Bow?
Silver
Boa.
Boa, like a
Snake?
boa
The bull.
constrictor.
Oh,
Boa
yeah,
constrictor.
right.
Yeah, like a boa
Boa.
constrictor.
Yeah.
In
Oh,
2015 as well, they on Conception Island in the southern, what is it? The islands down below us, Bermuda, and well, not Bermuda, but the
Caribbean,
Bahamas, I guess.
Bahamas, yeah, Bahamas.
Down there is where Conception Island is, and they found a rare, well, one of a kind silver boa down there on the island.
Hmm.
And I said, that's a great name for a character. I must copyright that as soon as possible. So I, from the name, created the character.
That's cool.
So it happens all different ways with me. But yeah,
Yeah.
but what I love about YouTube is I can simply ask my chat. Uh, Apex has named one of my characters.
Yeah.
He wanted Blood Dragon. And I said, well, I kind of like Kill Dragon. The gray man from the UK is better. And then the chat said, why don't you create two characters? And I was like, that's genius. I'll
Yes.
have the other character grow out of his tail that's come off.
Yeah.
And that's going to be in the book. He's going to be one of the characters will be red and one will be green, but which works for the storytelling really well. Colors can really symbolize different things.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely.
It tell a story all by color.
Intimidator.
Yeah. Even finding the right colors, for characters. Sometimes we have the character designed,
Yeah.
and then I don't really know what color set it should be, and you have to really think about that. And then I send it to the colorist, and he comes back with like 10 versions, and we're like, okay, a little bit of this, a little bit of this, and then you find the color set, and then you have to take into consideration that this character becomes part of this team, so you have to connect these colors of the team also, that everything fits, and you don't have double colors. Yeah, man. It's
Yeah, I mean,
fun creating characters. Yeah.
I think that's why a lot of people like Frank Miller, when they get a shot, like to do Sin City up on the big screen. You already are a producer. You think about colors, you think about environment and the staging of where and what genre and costumes, right? You think about everything that comes into play for a movie, just about. So I think one of these days you'll probably have that dapper looking cap on and be in a director's chair, perhaps. with
Cool.
even if it's like one of your characters animated. I would love to see a Perfect 10 cartoon, Dave.
Yeah, animated would be awesome. Yeah.
I think I could see that too, man. Absolutely.
Now we've got
Todd McFarlane now thinks that he can also direct. There's some people are good at some things, and suddenly they think they can do everything. So just leave the directing to the directors, and you can put your own stamp on things. You can still have creative
Control. Right.
control input. But yeah.
Yeah, I came in late. I don't know if Apex has already asked this, but how did you get into comics? What inspired you?
Well, I already told Apex that
Oh yeah,
I loved comic.
the first one was Superman versus Spider-Man. Remember
Okay.
that big one? Yeah, that was his. That's what
Oh,
really
the big
got
treasury edition.
big. Yeah, the
Yeah.
big edition. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you probably like characters that we don't see a lot around here, like Asterix.
Yeah, he mentioned that too. Asterix.
Yes.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Yeah.
It started there with those comics in Dutch, and then later on I moved over to the American books once I discovered Spider-Man and Superman,
Right.
and I thought those are great. This is
Did you
fantastic.
have
Once in a
dailies? Did you have dailies that influenced you in the newspaper? Do they have daily
They had dailies like these shorter strips.
cartoons in the
Yes.
newspaper?
They did,
Cool.
yes, like Haggard. Haggard was a Viking.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
right, Hagar the Horrible, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the little cartoon where he's taking a shower. He's recounting what he's just done. He's in a bath towel. He says, "I've cleaned the earwax out. I've showered. I've taken the lint out of my belly button." And then the last panel, he gets on the scales and says, "Wow, I lost 5 pounds."
5 pounds of dirt.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, Vikings get dirty. All that blood and grunge on them.
Well, that's true.
What out of all the titles? Now this is tricky. Out of all the titles you produced, which do you like the best?
that
And
I produced.
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, which do you really gravitate to and really are proudest of? I don't know.
it's usually the title that I like the most happens to be the title that I'm working on
At the
at that
moment.
moment. So right now it's Perfect 10, but when I'm working on Dream Girl Sleeper Agent, then that's my favorite
Oh,
title. You know.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I knew you'd say that, Dave, but I had to
Oh,
ask.
you did? Okay.
Dream Girl
Yeah,
Sleeper Agent. Oh,
yeah.
that's
But it's
intriguing.
almost like trying to choose your favorite child.
Yeah, it's
How do
very
you
Yeah,
do
difficult.
that?
right.
This is my
Yeah.
favorite. You know, yeah,
I do have some characters that at some point I realized I don't care much about them. This
Mm,
does happen, and that's great because then I can write them out, and so I can have characters dying or
right. And
things happening.
I understand what you're saying, but to me, they're fictional characters. They can become what you wish they can become. Those are the ones that are challenging, the ones that don't really inspire you to make them, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
inspire
The
you.
thing is, sometimes I feel characters have had their role. They have
Yeah,
fulfilled their role,
yeah,
and I don't really have a function for them anymore in the
yeah,
story, and they become a nuisance for me because I have to do something with them. You know, so
yeah.
you either
I,
have to remove them to the background or you have to kill them off or something else.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I understand that. I think it is about characterization. What do you think about the a good hero needs a good villain?
oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah,
the villain is almost sometimes more important even.
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Because the villain makes the hero the hero.
The villain
So
is the bully coming over and into the hero's sandbox and kicking sand in his face.
Mm,
right, right,
Yeah.
yeah.
So then at that point you have conflict and you must do something about it.
yes,
Are you going to like get up and run away and go, "Mommy"? Or are you going to stand up to the bully? And the readers caught in between, they want to know how this is going to play out.
yeah,
And when you have an interesting character like Doctor Doom or
It's
I
my
don't know,
favorite villain. Yeah,
yeah, then
absolutely.
that I mean, you need good villains. So I'm kind of working on my rogues gallery now for
Nice.
all my characters.
and if you have good villains, you know, once villains are great, then people love those villains because they are fantastic villains. So what does Marvel do and DC do? They make them heroes now because they're popular. So let's turn them around, and like Venom is now a hero, and I'm not a fan of that, man,
Yeah,
because once you take away these fantastic villains and make them heroes, you need new villains,
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
know it's
yeah, they did with that with Magneto, and I never got that. You know,
yeah,
yeah,
I thought that he was one of the greatest villains, really. But I mean, he wound up leading the X Men. Now, why would
yeah,
you? He was the antithesis to the X Men. Now, he might have been
yeah,
subvertively like spying to make that organization all his own, but with Professor X, he pretty much had it anyway. He would have had to just. It would have been an interesting story if you would have just seen a character disappear and then wind up. It it winds up that they're in a tube. I always love the tubes when they stick the heroes unconscious in a tube, like the
right.
collector, but or on a slab somewhere, and they've got some eye device, and they're being brainwashed to come over to his side that mutants should conquer
yes,
the world. But they never told that story, and I just came up with that on the spot right here.
Mm.
But that's one thing
Oh,
that
wow.
that Magneto that they could have done with that. I never got that Magneto was a good guy. I mean, this guy's been
Yeah,
trying to kill and destroy
yeah.
for decades, and then they make him a hero.
And they take at before that there's a gradual process like Magneto's just misunderstood. Like on his
oh
side,
yeah,
he
oh no,
thinks that's misunderstanding portion, right? And then
yes,
eventually he becomes from evil gradually into good. And I'm like,
No, I'm
where
not
are the
saying
good
it can't be
villains?
done where
Right.
gradual. I'm having second thoughts, and but do you
Yeah.
really, and I remember one character called Block in DC Comics that was came out as a villain, was part of like an assassins group, and he fought the Legion of Superheroes. But he very quickly said, I'm having differences, in thinking than these other killers that are around me, and he winds up repenting, and joining the Legion. I'm fine with that. That
Yeah.
character. A leopard sometimes can change its spots.
Mm.
You do see cats and dogs living along each other. Usually they're mortal enemies, but not every dog and cat are. Do you have a pet?
Sometimes this works, like with Rogue from the X-Men, for instance. She
Yeah,
started
yeah,
out as a
She
villain.
was a villain.
yeah,
Right.
She's one of the most popular characters now from the
Mhm.
X-Men. So, yeah.
yeah. And you can't even touch her.
No.
Yeah.
Darn it.
It absorbs your.
Yeah.
Darn it! Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
Absorb.
skunk lady. She's got one of those streaks in her hair.
Yeah. I think it
Yeah,
was
the
awesome.
design is great.
Yeah.
The design is
I know.
fantastic.
Do you know what a skunk is, and do you have them over there, Dave?
I don't think we have them, but I know what it is. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh,
If
wow.
you've ever smelled a skunk, you know what it smells like.
Here
Probably,
comes Rogue. Oh no.
And the only time that I've smelled one was after I ran over it, or
Oh,
something like.
I've
Or
run one over too. Oh my god, that was years ago when I was in college, taking my brother.
yeah,
back
if you,
to
I
Brownsville.
mean, they will avoid you, but if you
Ugh.
try and square off with them, you're going to lose because they will
Yeah.
spray you with some
Oh,
very foul
God.
smelling musk.
Ugh.
I guess it is.
Right.
Is there a villain called the Skunk? It sounds so obvious.
There's
you
one
know?
Indiegogo project.
Yeah.
They made fun of Squirrel Girl, but it's the irredeemable. I forgot what was the adjective to that one. It was the
Let's just say
God.
incredible skunk girl.
Or the undeniable
Oh,
skunk. Yeah,
skunk.
she was a
I know.
chick with she looked like Black Cat, but with a skunk tail going down her.
I
Her
remember it.
costume.
I think it was drawn by Bill Mouse. Is that possible?
No, it was somebody. May have been some other artist. Is more
Okay.
is
Right.
more different than Bill Style, I think.
Hmm.
But yeah, it made some money. It was on Indiegogo. And it was a twist off the Squirrel Girl, but it made this skunk character, female skunk character,
Right.
much hotter, sexier, and deadlier.
I never gotten skunk girl. I mean, I think Steve Ditko created skunk girl, but it was like
Well,
a
Squirrel Girl.
one and done
Yeah, he
character.
created Squirrel Girl, Rex. Skunk.
Squirrel, right? Squirrel,
Girl, yeah.
not the
Right.
skunk. Right.
No.
Squirrel Girl.
Yeah,
That's
a skunk is a skunk's like a weasel,
Right.
or the weasel family, I think,
Right.
or like
Yeah.
ferret family.
Squirrel.
Yeah.
I find the name Squirrel Girl difficult to pronounce. Squirrel Girl.
Yeah,
that's-
it's
That's,
weird.
that's part of the branding, isn't it?
Yeah.
It
Right.
needs to flow off the tongue like Superman, Batman,
Yeah.
Wonder. It needs to be memorable.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think Stan Lee knew that, like Peter Parker, Bruce Banner,
Yeah.
PP, BB,
Tony Stark. Yeah.
Betty Bryant,
Yeah.
yeah,
Reed Richards. Yeah.
Flash
Reed
Thompson.
Richards, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
Stan, we get it. We get it, Stan.
Stan.
And when you go back, really, when I find myself going back and reading some of that, I'm like, this is so sophomoric.
Yeah, in a way
even
it kind of is. It's simple. Simplicity. So
but you have to keep it in mind of the times that it came out, or you're missing it.
Hmm. But it was more like these throwaway books, You had these shorts or no, not short stories, but single issues. Back then, you still had single issues with the villain of the month, and
yeah.
it was cheaper paper. It
Yeah.
all was a bit cheaper, a bit quicker produced. That it looked a
Yeah.
little bit
It was-
cheaper, but it was
it
very
The
creative.
newsprint. Yeah.
It was inexpensive entertainment,
Yes,
like the
exactly.
pulps that came out in the 30s.
Oh, yeah.
It was inexpensive entertainment. But I don't know if we'll ever get back to a time like in the 40s, Dave, where everybody's reading comics. I mean, there was millions and millions sold in the 40s. And I would love to see that happen again, where millions
Oh,
are being
too.
produced. And it's
Yeah.
not just a gimmick. I know, like, X-Men #1 by Jim Lee sold into the millions. Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man sold into the millions.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's few and far between. And you're definitely not expanding on your readership to where everyone's, I mean, people, were going into combat fighting each other with comic books in their backpack, rolled up in their backpack.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody was literally reading the pulps, reading comics at that time, and it was cheap entertainment because no one had. It was just the times, I guess you could say. But
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know that we'll ever get back to that. You used a word that I've not really heard applied to comics till I got on YouTube, and that was niche. And I've had to
Yeah.
learn that comics are niche, and I guess
Yeah.
they are. It's pretty
Yeah.
sad because they were epic, they were big, they were larger than life, Dave. When I was a kid,
People
Yes.
were reading back then.
and
Much more readers.
I could
No.
encounter
Yeah.
them at, say, a grocery store, a pharmacy, and they were on spinner racks like the one behind you, and they
Yeah.
could take me to different worlds and universes, and that's what I'm trying to capture with my comics again, is
Yeah.
and to
Right.
give to anybody that'll read them.
There's just too much nowadays. There's so
Yeah.
much going on there. There are like 12 different streaming services. You have YouTube, you have
Yeah.
social media. People barely even read anymore, you know.
With that being said, do you think comics can compete, Dave, with what's out there? Do comics have a place, or should we go off into the corner and just die?
I
And-
think comics are for a niche audience, and that's okay. You know, you don't need to go mainstream with comic books. I think you need to sacrifice certain things when things go mainstream. It's comics are kind of for nerds, you know, and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, we can make exactly what we want to make for the people that like it, and I think the audience may be large enough to keep this little industry alive, but it
Mhm.
doesn't
So
need to be mainstream.
Is the future independent publishing, in your opinion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think corporate comics cannot survive the way they go. They
No.
keep trucking on the same route nowadays, and it's going
Yeah.
nowhere.
They've got the wrong business model, don't they?
Yeah.
They have the wrong people behind the business. They have the completely
Yeah, they
wrong
have- they
people.
have the
They're
right
not
characters.
fans. No.
It's a real shame. They have the right characters. They have such awesome
Yeah.
characters created
Yes.
by actual creators,
Mhm.
and,
Right.
and they're now in the hands of people who don't know what to do with them.
No.
You think that will ever turn around, or how's that going to play out, in your opinion? What's going to happen to Marvel and DC in the future?
I hope they disappear. I hope they disappear. I don't really care. You know, it's
Right.
I fell out of love with Marvel, with DC. Well, I never thought that I would say this. If you like 15 years ago, I was like, comics are fantastic. It's awesome. I love this. I love these characters. I love this art. I love everything about it. And then nowadays, I'm like, I don't give a shit. You know,
Yeah.
it's really.
I don't know
strange.
if I would have. Ice Queen says, I think comics will still be around when books are not. People don't read anymore. Comics and the visuals, of course, inspired me and made me a reader, a bigger reader, where I'd
yes.
actually pick up a book without pictures and read it.
This
So,
is true, man. This is
I think
true.
it's a great gateway drug, for lack of better words, to higher things.
Yeah, in a way it is. Well, comics, I mean, the floppies, for instance, only roughly 20 to 24 pages in
I'll be
length.
honest with you. When I get a floppy,
Yeah.
even if I paid a smaller price for it, and I
Mhm.
have gotten a few floppies on
Yeah.
campaigns, I've been disappointed. Not in the quality, because I can't say I've sit down and read them, but just by the size of it. It just, after receiving some big volumes off Indiegogo, I want that big page count for some reason. And when I
Mm.
receive some little thin comic book, I'm like,
Yeah.
I haven't read this yet, but it just doesn't. I know I'm getting less.
It seems small, yeah.
It seems small in comparison to a lot of these other Indiegogo projects, and
Yeah,
floppies just don't do it for me for the crowd.
that was the one complaint that we got about Perfect 10
Uh,
issue 1, that the people loved it, but they thought it was too short.
Mm,
It needed
okay,
more. They wanted more. So that's a good thing, basically.
yeah,
So with issue
they want
3,
more.
we amped up the page count. So issue 3 will be 36 pages. It's the
oh,
biggest
great.
comic that we produced so far.
Nice. Really
Well,
cool.
that's nice to know. Her kids read comics, but not books.
Yeah, exactly. Like the comics, I think some kids have shorter attention spans. I can think the page count, they can read it quicker than just a
Mm,
big book,
Now,
yeah.
in my
Cora,
opinion.
I think Ice Queen, knowing her a little bit, I
Mm.
think she would really like Cora. Can you tell us a little bit about your Cora title? Don't you do Cora?
Cora?
A Cora?
Oh, you mean live on Cora? No, that's from Mike Jimmy.
Okay.
Mike
I
Jimmy.
was thinking it was you made the little plushies and everything.
Yes, that's Mike Jimmy, but he's Dutch. Maybe that's the confusion there.
Oh, okay, right.
Okay.
He's also Dutch, so yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I get you confused. You know, once you've seen one Netherland person, you've seen them all.
So
Right?
that was-
Yeah, we all look the same.
We all look the same. No offense, Dave.
yeah,
No,
they fish.
but I thought I shot. You were producing the plushies.
No.
No.
He did that. I think he even went to. We had them produced in China, even. I think.
Yeah.
Mm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he's the ginger,
Yes.
right?
beard.
Yeah. I always get you two confused. It must be the hat throwing me off.
It must have been a long day.
Yeah. And now I know, Dave, you've produced like what? It's over 17 titles now, right?
No, it's like 12 books right now.
Okay,
That's
12
pretty good.
books. Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Can you just off the top of your head tell us some of those titles so we might look out for them in the future?
Oh, let's
And
let's go and pull yourself up.
Yeah.
And has some of them been
Check it out.
terminated? They're not going to be published anymore? Are you going to continue publishing them or what?
What was that?
This is Earthling.
Earthling.
This was my first international title. So the first
Ooh,
English language book that I made. Not this one. This
awesome.
is issue 3.
What
That looks
year
like
was
a
that?
George Perez cover. That's awesome.
Does. Who's the
Yeah.
artist on that one?
Jim Jimenez.
Oh, I've heard Jim Jimenez. Okay,
Jim Jimenez. And,
Jim
and
Jimenez.
we now have 4 issues of this book. The first book was my first adventure into crowdfunding and American style comics
Hmm.
and English language comics. So, and I had to network. I had to find the right creative team. I wanted to draw it myself, but things. It's a long story, but now Jim is the main artist on this book. I want
It's
to make
great.
issue 5. It's
Oh.
about a superhero. He's not considered a hero by most people because he fights for animals, and he
Mhm.
doesn't really like humans that much. So there's this conflict between him and other heroes from this universe.
Yeah. So he's
Um,
kind of like an animal rights person.
Yes. So
Oh.
the concept was, what if an animal rights activist gets superpowers?
Now, how do you get how do you get it from concept to, I mean, how does it come to you? What's your working process on making these books?
It,
I know where my inspiration kind of comes from, and I just kind of get
Oh.
ideas drop down in my head sometimes.
Number
yeah,
2.
it kind of varies. Sometimes a situation can prompt me to think about it.
Uh,
What if a character like this gets powers? What will happen? And
Yeah.
this idea just grows into this concept.
so it kind of
This is-
starts with a question, and then you have to
Yes, of
fish it
course.
out, find the answer.
But this
Yeah.
character is like our Superman. He's called the Flying Dutchman. So he's the Dutch
Okay.
Superman. So he has this orange cape, and he has a costume in the Dutch colors, the Dutch flag, and he has a lion as a as a symbol. Yeah.
So
Really
what year did that come out? The Earthling.
the first one was in 2015.
Okay.
Now your comics have a rating on them, don't they? That's like rated G there, or
No,
do
that's my logo. That's
Oh,
the
oh,
genuine.
that's the Genuine
Yeah,
Comics
yeah.
logo. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, but not everything is suitable for younger children.
do you have over there? Do you have to have a rating on them?
In the Netherlands, no, I don't think
Okay,
so. No.
They're mainly
Um,
teens and up, I'm
I love
thinking,
that
right?
multi-panel cover. That's
yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
Power Trip is
Power Trip.
the anthology book. So it has 3 shorter
Oh,
stories.
wow.
And because I have so many concepts, so many ideas and characters, I cannot possibly make books for all of them. But I can introduce them to you guys through shorter stories. So this is why this title was brought into life. And we're now working on the second Power Trip through 3 new concepts. And I try to have different creative teams for every concept. So for issue 3, I'm also working with Lee Byron Carver from the Company Man, for instance.
Okay. Yeah.
He's one of the writers for one of the stories. So I
I
have
think that's
this
very
concept.
smart because you're
Yeah.
you're mixing up styles. It looks different.
Yes.
Every story's distinctive. That's something that I've found with this anthology. I'm really enjoying the shorter backup stories. Like you say, it's a lot different to tell a 29-page story than it is like 5 or 6-pager story, and you can always introduce something new without going into any great detail.
Ajax Awakening.
Ajax Awakening. This is a character that's not mine. So there are other people who also work within the Genuine Comics universe,
Mhm.
and they bring their own characters, like Ajax. This character he's
Okay.
created
Will they
by.
be contained within their own book, or will they branch off into your other books? Is it?
Well, this character appears in another comic that I made. So I try to integrate these characters into one universe, and which is cool. I love working with other creators and build something together. You know,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
that's great. And he also brings his own supervillains to this world. So everything is steadily growing. This is fantastic.
Now, at the end of the day, they still own the rights to the character, right?
Yes, it's all
But
there.
Oh.
Okay.
yeah, but you're still interconnecting with some of your characters and properties, IPs that you own.
I try to, yeah, but yes, I try to work them in there. Even in Perfect 10 issue 1, there are a few small things that people won't even notice, but they point to other titles.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I like that. But there's always the danger. I have to be aware that these other creators go their own way. So I cannot integrate stories to such extent that I can't disconnect them no more.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. What has been your most successful so far? Do you think is it Perfect 10?
10, yeah, definitely,
Oh,
no
yeah.
doubt.
What do you think it is that strikes a chord with this project with people?
I think there are a few reasons why this is more successful. I think, and one of the reasons is because I met this new network of fans and creators, like I met Shay from Red Valkyrie.
Oh yeah.
She was one of the first people who had me on a stream ever to talk about my comic book. It was my first time on Indiegogo. She told me, go on Twitter and I will help you. So I made this Twitter profile, and she began to share, and suddenly things blew up. And so that certainly helped. So suddenly exposure was there. So the network, plus the fact that I'm working with professionals like Paul Rodriguez, and he has his own audience also. So these things combined made Perfect 10 definitely the most successful so far. And through Perfect 10, I'm now selling more of my older titles also because people now
Okay.
want to know more about this
That's,
universe.
one of my hopes is that we pull out of the power dive and we're no longer niche. We're not necessarily mainstream, but that we're a bit broader known. I think a lot of it is networking and
Yeah.
just simply people can't buy it if they don't know it's out there. It's a lot about distribution, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah, yeah. The ideal situation would be that you can have your comics just be in front of people. So they walk into the store, there it is, and they can buy it. Because now they actively have to go to these crowdfund campaigns or your web store or whatever and order it. So comics need to be more accessible to
Yeah.
people who don't really go out to look for them, and that's very difficult.
That can be.
That's the biggest challenge so far.
Yeah, I mean, you can go to a fair and hand out free copies, and that may be but then that gets expensive, doesn't it?
Yeah. Never give away things for free,
No, it shouldn't.
because when you do that, then it has no value to people.
Yeah.
And you will find it in the dustbin. It's yeah.
I think a lot of times that the big companies, they're terrible at advertising their comics. What they should have done was advertise these wrestler magazines, because we think about it, wrestlers are kind of superheroes and superhero
Oh,
villains
that's a great
in the
idea.
ring. They should have, Marvel, DC, or whoever, maybe Image, should have advertised their books in these wrestler magazines. They would get probably more advertising out there, more mainstream, and they
Right.
never did.
It's
I
really
think it's
big with you guys, right? The whole
Yeah.
wrestling scene, wrestling.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
I
we don't
was.
really have that here.
Yeah, in America, it's quite big.
Yeah.
It's sports entertainment, as they call it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
more show. Yeah, it's also sports, right? These people
Right.
need to be in great shape and
Oh,
everything, but
absolutely.
it's mostly show, right?
Oh yeah, sports entertainment show. It's
Yeah.
almost like it's like in a way reading a soap opera. It's like a men's soap opera. When you think about wrestling, it's
Yeah.
soap operas for men,
Yes.
and the ladies have their own soap operas and daytime shows and TV or whatever. But yeah, it's it's still good, still big. People still go to wrestling events, and it's pretty popular in the U.S.
Mm.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah.
Now, if comics can actually be that way again, hey, who knows?
So
Okay.
can we see Film Bat in an ad like that in the future, probably?
Maybe, you never know where FanBat may
I
show
know.
up.
I know my
Yeah.
stepson. He loved two things: comics and wrestling. Or
Yeah,
at least I was trying to introduce him more to comics.
exactly. Yeah.
Epic music.
Coming soon to Indiegogo once the pre-launch page gets finished and all that jazz.
Cool.
FanBat Volume 1. 56 pages written and penciled and ink. Brett Cantrell, myself, and my studio Apex Comics. Heck yeah, man. Oh, Apex Graphics, in a way. That's my comic book company. I've had the Apex Graphics since the 90s.
So when is this coming?
It's coming out later this year.
Oh, cool.
Maybe Halloween, perhaps. Pre-launch is going to come up before then and see how many people sign up and that sort of thing. But Rex has something to show as well.
Oh yeah.
Let's go ahead and share what Rex...
Whoops.
What's the...
What
Yeah.
I clicked on the wrong thing. Sorry about that.
Right, make your screen bigger. screen bigger. Yes, Devil
Ooh.
Flyer, Ashcan on Indiegogo. Give it some love, everybody. Yes, beautiful, great story there. I can't wait to get my copy, my Ashcan of
What's that
Devil
about,
Flyer.
by the way? Devil Flyer. What's that
Yeah.
about?
Well, as I said, it's kind of like a 6-story anthology. The main
Oh, right. Yeah.
the main story with Devil Flyer, though, um, he goes up against the Chicago mob, and that will play into my second book, Silver Boa, back in the 30s, even.
Wow.
So, it's all going to be interconnected. Where I can find a connection and it makes sense, I'm going to, especially in these early stories, because I do want an interconnected universe. And I think that's part of the fun, figuring out the puzzle, Dave, as you go along. And then, of course, the other contributors, of course, if you solicit for artists or inkers or colorists, really make a big decision in your book that you want to produce. So that's part of the fun. And I had a terrible colorist though, Dave, and I had to fire him. So that happens.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Have
Oh
you
man,
ever found a
I've lost.
colorist yet, Rex?
No,
For
and I really haven't been looking. I've just been concentrating on um, these backup stories, and I'm going to do in one of the stories. I'm in Grave Tales. I've got a genius idea. I wish I could lay claim to it. Actually, just talking about that story that was Vic King was not doing, and he gave me a great idea for the coloring in that
Okay.
story. So I think people are really going to like it. It's going to be something that I don't think anybody's seen, before. It really lends itself to the story. I think everything should lend itself to the story you're trying to tell. What do you think, Dave?
Yes, yes. You
If
don't.
you
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 have to
don't want
be.
anything distracting from it, and that could be the coloring's not off, is off, and the
Exactly.
inking just doesn't look right over that. It's not a good mesh with the penciler, so it could be any number. The logo, everything was great, but the logo really took me out of the story. It was so awful.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
So it could
Well,
be anything.
that's
You
true.
you, you almost have to get that perfect 10, um, 10 out of 10. See what I
yeah,
did?
yeah, yeah.
Brought,
You must
brought it
always.
back. Brought it
You
back.
must
Right.
strive. Well, you don't need to make a perfect book, but you need to make it. It has to work. The book
Yeah.
has to
I
has
kind
to
of look
work.
at it like baseball. You swing for the fences. You want to hit a home run every time
Yeah,
you go up. But if you get a single, a double, a triple, and
yeah.
sometimes strike out, that's the game, right?
Right,
You always go up there with the attitude, I'm going to knock this one out of the park. This is going to be the one that's going to be my cyber frog and make $1 million for
right.
me.
Wow. Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Make
Look
it
at
happen.
him.
Excellent.
Yeah.
EVS has flown and
Well,
went to the
we're rooting
stars.
for you, Dave. And Dave,
Yeah,
when
we
I
are.
get my project and get a lot of the artwork in and stuff and get it more collected, I'll definitely come on your show and shield my book.
Yeah, man.
Chill it.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
me too.
I'm finding out, I came into this a little naive, Dave. I thought, man, I got 29 pages that my friend drew for me and inked for me and everything and even put the dialogue in, you know. I just asked him, if I showed him my new character back in, I think it was 2018. And I said, if I wrote a Devil Flyer story, would you draw it? And he said, yes. Well, in the meantime, I pitched him for years. I pitched him different stories. Well, what if we did this? And what if we did that? And then I finally, in a moment of, I don't know, just epiphany, said, "Oh, he did agree to do one story, and it was Devil Flyer. So let me ask him again."
Yeah.
I said, I'd ask you once, and you said you'd do it. Would you do it? And he says, "Yes." And I'm like, "Woo, glad we got that out of the way."
Right.
And so, that's the way it was. But I thought, okay, I've got the artwork done, I've got the dialogue done. Of course, we were rushing to get that done. I was hoping to launch this book before now, but I was a
But
little
you,
naive.
but you said you worked the Marvel way, right? So did you just make the script with descriptions of what you wanted to happen?
Oh, good
Or
question. I did like storyboarding,
Mm,
and then I went through with maybe little notes, but I didn't like put the dialogue in. I knew what I think very cinematically, like I think a lot of people, my age or even your age, Dave, do. We see these films like Star Wars and Jurassic Park, and they have an influence on the way we that like certain shots, like a worm's eye view or a and and
yeah.
and I just conferred with Doc over Grave Tales. I had this one end scene in the book, and I was thinking, okay, let's do this scene. I was first insistent.
Yes.
This is while working with great artists work out good. I was insistent. I always keep an open mind that because that's the way I had it in my head. I envisioned it. The balloon from a worm's eye view flying away. And yet he said, no, I think it would be more effectively. I think you need to take a second look at this. If we look down on the balloon, then we could look down on the scene below it and everything. It would just be more impactful. And I thought about it for a second. Didn't take but a couple of seconds. I said, yeah, let's go with that. I think you're right. So sometimes
Yes.
you can't be inflexible in this business. You have
Right.
to work with others, and if they have a better ideal, you have to swallow it and say I
This
was wrong,
this
and
does
let's go with
this does
your idea.
happen to me also, man.
Yeah,
When I write the script, I see the scene before me, like this happens, and I'm also an artist, and I've read like thousands of comics, so I can picture it how I would like it, and I send the script over to Pau, and I get this layout back, and it's completely different than what I imagined, and then I need to take a take a short moment to look at
yeah,
it and to go like, yes, this actually works. It's different than what I wanted, but this is actually also good. Plus, this way, Pau also knows that it's his book also. I don't want to guide him too much.
yeah,
Of
yeah.
course,
You
he's
don't want to micromanage, that's for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's hired by me to visualize the story, so I have
Right.
to give
Well,
him freedom as much
I've
as possible.
worked with very fast artists and I've worked with slow artists, which I'm fine. I've given myself
Yeah.
enough time for that.
Right.
There's no deadline, although you want it done in a timely fashion. But
Mhm.
Big King, he's very fast. Dillard Draws, he's very fast. Doc Blaylock, he's more slow and methodic because he's learning. But
Mhm.
he's turning in the best work.
Oh
I
yeah.
can't tell you how overjoyed I am with what he's producing, and he's working out a sequence as well. So he actually had since he thought over the book and the panels so meticulously, he actually had room to work in everything I wanted, which was for that story. So he's pleased with it. I'm pleased with it. But people work at different paces, and
Yeah.
I'm finding that that's kind of exciting, to work with others. And I didn't want to do that. I was like Apex. I want to do it all. I want to color. I want to ink.
Yeah.
I want to draw it all myself. And I'm finding myself everything. I didn't want to do an anthology. I didn't even want Devil Flyer as my main character. But it's like everything that I said I didn't want to do, I'm doing. You
Mhm.
know, and so it's going to work out or it's going to flop. But I'm putting everything I've got behind it, and hopefully we'll take to the air with Devil Flyer.
Yeah. Well, me too, man. Yeah.
I'm
Sometimes.
excited, so
Yeah.
hopefully others will be
Yeah,
excited.
yeah.
And
Yes.
I'll get to work with like not just people in the States, but hockey. He's from down Australia. he did a 2-page story for me, and he
Nice.
and working digitally is different than working traditionally.
Yeah, it
Uh,
is.
but I see advantages to digital artists. How much is all your artists, they work traditionally, or do they work digitally as well?
No, Pau works traditionally because he also sells the original pages and the
Right.
Okay.
covers.
Yeah.
But if if we need edits, and this does happen, that sometimes I'm like, yeah, some things need to be changed, then he goes over it digitally.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Right.
smart.
Just scans it and
Well,
corrects
you
it
know, when I was
digitally.
working out a 2-page story with Dillard, um, he did a pose, and then that's not right. And then he did another pose, and it suggested something to me. And I said, "Oh, that's the ending. That's the correct posture," because not much was going on. It's
Mm.
basically a seated figure,
Mm.
and he's thinking, he's meditating and thinking to himself. And I had this cinematic, where I want the camera, the viewer,
Yeah, yeah.
to go around the figure in a 380, and then where the reader started from with him sitting meditating is where he winds up, and the story is told while the camera just goes around the figure and gives you a view of the figure. So that's not everybody can pull that off, but I knew Dillard could do it, and
Yeah.
he was drawing a pose into the first, and it suggested the end of the story to me, which I already had the story written, but it visually contributed to the story. I think that's important, that the art add to the dialogue, add to the story.
Yeah.
Hmm. Right. Yes.
If you have just a so-so artist, they may get the visuals down, but it's not really helping the story along. Besides
No,
just
no. There has to be a
Right.
symbiosis between the dialogue and the art.
Yeah.
There was this scene in Perfect 10 issue 3 that I requested one panel to be changed. I asked Pau, can you change the pose of a specific character? But that was because I rewrote the dialogue. So I get in the pages, then I do this edit, and things always get changed. So I rewrote some dialogue, and suddenly the dialogue didn't match the
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 visual.
the poses anymore.
Uh,
So we just made a little. So we redrew that. It cost me extra money,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's all worth it because you want to have this symbiosis between the dialogue and what you see. It has to fit together. So yeah,
That's
it does
true.
have to fit. Yeah.
yeah.
Amen.
Making comics,
Definitely.
man, that's fantastic.
Now
I
I
love.
got a new comic in today, and I want to show it off.
Oh yeah.
Richard.
Oh, hold on. Let me blow you up there.
Yep.
Yes. I got one of those too. Yeah,
Yeah,
I got the
that's
exact
great.
one.
I
That's
missed
fantastic.
out. I missed out, but fortunately, Shadowhawk sent that to me. So
Oh, that's awesome. Oh
Oh,
yeah, man.
yeah.
you turned off
Eh,
your
eh,
camera.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
you turn
Well,
yeah, turn
nobody
it back
wants to
on.
see my bedhead, Dave.
Bad head.
Oh, all right, okay.
Who does your hair? My pillow.
A pillow.
Yeah. I had to get some rest. I'm a hardworking man, Dave. I don't
That's
know
true.
when you ever rest. I always see you on YouTube doing interviews, cranking out comics. You're a horse, aren't you?
I don't think I'm online that often. When I compare myself to like Bancroft,
Oh
who
Well,
does
yeah.
so much, I'm
True.
like, when do you ever draw?
well, he's on every
But he
night.
does it. So yeah,
Yeah, he's on every night, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, he's
yeah,
on draw streams too. He has certain draw streams occasionally in
and
the middle of
different
the
streams
night.
also from other people.
Yeah.
So I'm like, how do you do that
That's
Yeah,
with your family, with your
plus he's a full time job on top of that.
yeah.
yeah, man.
Now,
Yeah.
are you married, Dave? Are you
I,
single?
I'm
Or?
not married, but I have a partner. Yeah,
Okay,
Well,
okay.
yeah,
So yeah, I mean, you know what it is to kind of have others in your life, and
yes.
that's a responsibility on itself. And when you're a comic creator, it can kind of cut in, huh?
I have to pull myself away from this.
Yeah.
Sometimes to spend time with her. That's
Right.
Yeah.
she's my biggest supporter. So you know
Cool.
it's in the
That's-
beginning
that's
not so
awesome.
much. She was like, you want to make another comic? This other comic didn't do anything. She doesn't get it, you know.
Right.
But now the money's coming in. Now she's all in. Yeah. I'm
Awesome.
going to do the bookkeeping and everything. So she's on board. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, that's wonderful. I mean, if you
That's
can
so
have someone come alongside and help with the book work and
Oh
and
yeah.
be a part of it and contribute.
I hate that part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
She can do
no.
that.
Yeah, it's the business side of it, isn't
Yes.
Yeah.
it? It's really important though to get that business side of it right, isn't it?
Yes.
But
it's a
you
big
know,
deal.
we as artists, we want to have time to create and to you know every aspect of it. I find, you know, I mean, I can sit down and do a painting, no problem. Okay, now whether it's good or bad, I didn't tell you, but you know, with a comic, it's like,
good.
okay, you have to have the art, you have to have the inks, you have to have dialogue, you have to have a story written, you have to have
Lettering.
an editor. I mean, it's one of the most challenging things I've done, Dave.
Yes.
And now, on top of that, I have to run a Indiegogo campaign and fill out all these international shipping.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's a
Oh,
pain in the ass. Ugh.
And I think tonight you've convinced me of one thing. Yes, Perfect 10 is a perfect 10, and you should go back it. But also to go with someone like Critical Blast to distribute your book, because they may have better connections after a while, especially on the internet, on the international scene.
Mhm.
So, and he's only like 4 hours away. I could drive the books over to him.
Oh.
He's in Arkansas too. He's in Eureka Springs. I honeymooned there one time.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful tourist place. You know, if you've never been
Man,
there,
4 hours drive for you guys. That's close by.
that's close by. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
4 hours
right?
for us. 4 hours for us. That's one side of the country to the other. Then we're done.
Right? It's
Yeah.
small.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a big trip, huh?
Yes,
I
the
will
biggest
be.
trip
You're
we can
now
make.
leaving the Netherlands. You're now leaving Holland.
Yes.
Now, what's your closest windmill? I've got to ask you that.
Yeah, there is a windmill close by.
Is there?
Mm.
Wow.
Oh,
2
that's cool.
kilometers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I grew up eating those windmill cookies that had the almond slivers in there. Did you ever have those, Brent?
Oh yeah,
wow.
yeah, speculaas.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
They're
You
called speculaas. Yeah.
I can't find them just anywhere anymore, but they're still out there.
Do they sell them in the US?
They do, yes.
Oh, they do. Okay.
Little windmill cookies. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Great. Awesome.
Does your cookies have almonds as well?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going to share something, guys. I got this in the mail today.
Ooh,
Okay. What did you get?
Yes, from Uncle E.
drum roll. Oh,
Yes. Ethan Van
Take
Skyler
one.
himself.
in a
He's talking
top
about.
loader.
Yes, top loader. There we go. Got my P5 card. Go
Ooh,
Lily.
Oh.
P5. Yeah, this was numbered differently, and it was a mistake. It is a different number, but this is the proper numbering, the P5. So
now,
I
how
got
old
today.
is that? Is that a back issue one? Is that an older one, or
No, it's actually
is that
two
the
cards.
latest?
I got P5 and P4. This is one of it looks like what the hell is this guy? Looks like Salamandroid or somebody. No, it's Jelsin. This is Jelsin.
Okay, so
Right.
that is the ship
That's
responsible for Salamandroid
And Cyberfrog, yeah.
and Cyberfrog.
And
Okay,
this is the P4, which is Lily. These are numbered correctly.
yeah.
well,
Jill
you
Sand is you know, hearing Uncle E talk about it, it seems like the most interesting part the part of the mystery that I, you know, want to learn about. Actually,
Yeah, right?
it's the mothership responsible for all that.
Yeah.
Right, so
Yes.
you just ordered cards. So you only
Yeah, well,
you got
actually,
cards.
I'm on his Patreon, and the
Okay.
Patreon
So
members
those
they
are
get
the Patreon
his
cards.
Patreon
Gotcha.
cards. Yeah,
I support his channel, but I'm not on his Patreon.
I'm on his channel and his Patreon, so I'm a big
Yeah, might as
supporter.
well get all those cards.
Hell yeah, that's why I do
These
it.
I actually gave my information. I've got P23 here.
Oh,
Uh,
good.
it's
Yeah, yeah.
called Stung.
Oh, hold up. Yeah, let's second. Let's see that thing.
Well, I got two of them from him. So, and one of them's going to
Stung.
be Shadowhawks. But so there's the front and the back of the same
I have
card.
that one too. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
nice one. Yeah,
yeah.
that's cool. Collect
Got
those
those in there.
cards. They are worth some money.
So you
Just
Yeah.
guys
sell them on
like
eBay.
you guys like collector cards, trading cards?
Yeah, well, not only if it's kind of non-sports cards. I'm not really a sports collector per
Oh, there
se.
you go.
I
Perfect
got a
team.
few. I got a few sports cards, not much. Oh, well, hold up. Let's see. Let's see that.
Dave, I love gingers, by the way.
Oh, shoot, that's
That's
perfect
perfect
10
10.
card. Look at
This
that.
is these are cards that come with
Oh,
with the campaign,
that's
and the
awesome.
cards are also numbered. So this is card number 10 because this is 10.
I
So
think that's
Nice.
important, yeah, to number the cards.
and
That's
Yeah.
then we
great.
have like other characters from the genuine universe. This is card number 11.
Is that a lenticular card?
Sorry.
Is that lenticular? Does it have
Lenti-
movement to it? The image?
No. It's just a little.
Is it
gloss.
shiny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it looks like he's blurred a little bit. Is he like a speedster?
Yeah,
He's a speed character, isn't he?
He's a speedster, and we have
Oh.
more. We have more cards. We have like eight
Oh,
cards
wow.
now. This
Oh,
is
yeah, I've
the
seen
first,
those. Yeah.
the first set of 8 cards, and you can get all of them free when you back something from the Perfect 10 issue 3
Ooh.
campaign.
Was your poster from the first campaign behind you? The poster?
No, it's the poster from the current campaign.
The
Oh,
current campaign. Okay,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
fine. Yeah.
That's the Randy Green piece. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
but people can get this, but not this size. So you get this mini poster with your order.
Ooh,
Okay.
cool, man.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
cannot ship these out without risking to damage them or have to fold
Yeah.
them or whatever. You know, I did it once with my very first campaign. I had these large posters that people could get,
Right.
and I sent them off in tubes, and
Yeah.
it was just a disaster, man. It was-
Oh, no.
Wait, did you get a lot of damage?
yeah,
Oh.
damage. I got some back even, so yeah.
Well, you're in good company. Ethan Van Sciver did that too with that blacklight poster, and a lot of those got damaged. He said, "I'll never do them again." So that's
No.
why I
bought-
bought.
I
Frankly,
bought 2 of them.
there you
They
go.
came out pretty good.
Mine's
I
still
lucked
in
out.
the tube.
I've wanted 2, and I've taken 1 out to
But now
frame.
those were fuzzy. Those were flocked, right?
Yeah, man, those were the black velvet, the velvet
Black
ones.
velvet,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, and they weren't cheap. They were like $60, I think, a piece.
They're actually I bought 2 of them they're about 30 each. I bought 2 of them for 60.
I don't know where I got 60, but anyway,
Yeah.
I thought I paid 60 for it. But
That's
Uh,
with shipping probably. I don't know.
Shadowhawk said a little bit of flocking, which might be extra flocking on it, is kind of coming off though. He's got his framed and stuff, so
Oh, really? Ooh,
I got to take
shoot.
them out of the tube. It can disintegrate in the tube. With only 500 of them out there, I'm probably just gonna never look at it and resell it one day unopened, and then that way I don't have to repackage it to ship.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell one from the tube and keep the one myself.
Just slap a new address on there and pile in my
Thanks.
millions, and then go buy a bunch of Dave's books on it.
There you
It's
go,
current.
man.
I'll go, Perfect 10 will be on like issue 500 by then, and I'll be going, yeah, this stuff, baby. Perfect 10 looks like a 12 now.
That's a 12. Good
It would
Lord,
be
man.
great. It would be great that someday when one of our IPs or franchise becomes bigger, that people can say, yeah, I was there from the very beginning. I know how that started. You know.
Yeah, that's part of the fun, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah.
Getting on a ride and riding it out to its conclusion.
Yes.
As a kid, I always like to see new stuff, but I always hate that they do so much with number 1 issues, number one, and I really hate it when they stop the numbering. I think I think that just confuses the collector. You know, it's hard to keep up, especially if you have like double numbering.
Oh, absolutely, man.
So I promise right here and now, as I promised before, that with Momentum Comics or Momentum Concepts, as I'm calling myself, um, that I'll never stop a title. You know, I may put it on hiatus, but I will continue the numbering.
Right.
It will, I will not do, you know, you can always create, I don't understand that. You can always create a new title and launch that. I mean, with the,
Yeah.
you know, characters from other titles in it. So I don't see that you know, the business people say, well, collectors like number one issues. Well, yeah, but I also like issue 537.
Yes. Yeah.
I also like issue 712, you know.
So
I
why's your company called Momentum Concept?
Why is it?
Yes.
Well, and I'm finding this to be really true. Like I said, I like working with the artists and sometimes just giving them a little thumbnail of what I mean and a concept, and then they flesh it out. Saves me work as, you know, pinning it down and as an artist. And sometimes they have better ideas than I do, frankly. I mean, can execute things better. And I'm and I think there's a Momentum Comics down Mexico, so I think it's a copyright thing. So I just went with Concepts.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, I had about half the book done. I thought I can launch this and get it off, and I'm like, no, I think I'm going to do right the opposite, and have all the work in, or pretty much all the work. Maybe not all the coloring, maybe not all the dialogue, but I'll have all the artwork in before I launch my book. So, and that'll be out probably. That'll be ready to launch probably in March of next year. Like I launched my little black and white Ashcan. I didn't know that there was going to be a year between them, but that's probably the best case scenario. If I leave my mail up, which is not up, I'm like Apex. I've got to get my mail up campaign done.
That's the biggest challenge I've ever experienced. You know,
but it's one of those hurdles. And then when you do, like David was talking about international, I didn't really know what to put down for international. So I said $18. Nobody will ever get it. Well, I have one gentleman from Switzerland and I have one gentleman from the UK that bought in early. So whether I lose money on those, I really don't care. I'm just glad that they came on board and they're excited about the books, and that's
Right.
what
Yes.
is important to me. So if I have to lose on the international, at least on this little book. Now, if I had a big campaign, yeah, I'm going through critical blast. Somebody like that knows international and what the postage rate is and the best. And I could very well do it. I've shipped for like almost 20 years on eBay, so I know how to put together a secure package where it doesn't get damaged. But for, you know, I think it's worth it actually to get a distributor, especially like you're talking, Dave. They have persons stationed in the UK. They have a person stationed in Australia. And I know Diller Draw sent a bundle of like maybe about 15 down Australia, and he said, yes, it's worth it. Now, if you have only one backer, it's not worth it.
No,
Okay.
it's pointless. But if you have like 10 backers from Australia,
Right.
then it's definitely worth it.
He said at least 8 backers in the country, then it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good point.
It'll save you money.
So, Dave, how did you do your mailing list for your pre-launch? Did you do it like through Gmail, or did you do it through MailChimp? Did you download your pre-launch page to a MailChimp account, or how did you figure that out?
I didn't do any of that. I just had the pre-launch page, and I only approached the people from that. And I then updated the previous campaigns. So the older campaigns, like Perfect 10 issue 1, I was like, hey, Perfect 10, there's a new campaign now, so people get the update, and this way I could reach the older backers also. But I didn't send anything out through MailChimp or anything like that.
Okay, well, did you collect the addresses through your sign-up page, or did you?
You can collect you can collect addresses. You can merge it into one file.
Okay.
Maybe I will use that for the next campaign.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I've sent out my mail up for my little ash can was only up like a month and a half or maybe 2 months. It wasn't up very. I was kind of rushing things along,
Yeah.
so I only had so much success with it. Got about 40 signatures on it
Hi,
maybe.
Milton.
hello,
Uh,
Milton.
How you
but I
doing?
don't think that I saved the information, so it really didn't do me any good.
Oh. Well, yeah, you gotta save
And
it.
I wasn't offering anything for early signups or anything,
Oh,
so it's
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 from
not like
actually
a pre-launch from
yeah,
Indiegogo you did, or
like a mail up, yeah.
yeah for
oh
his
right,
Ashcan. Yeah.
then you should probably still have these mailing lists. You can download it through the campaign.
Okay, just go back into the old. I mean, isn't
I
that done
think
away with once you launch the book?
I think it should be available somewhere, but
Okay,
I'm
okay.
not sure. I'm not
I'll
sure.
check into that then.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll ask somebody with greater knowledge than myself.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
my God,
Not
it's
that I'm
such.
claiming anything.
I'm still figuring things out also, man. It's a constant learning process.
It's a learning curve. I would love to help Apex, but at the same time, I'm on his level. I'm maybe even worse than him. So,
Yeah,
uh, I'm
It's
like,
okay.
get somebody who's done it, who's
Mm,
more experienced, because I'll just boomer it up for you.
it is the
yeah,
cool thing about this network. That people can help each other
Absolutely.
with their own knowledge, and yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
man.
it's fantastic.
Yeah, and I really respect you, Dave, because you I mean you've
Me too.
created your own creator universe. I mean you're living the dream of what I always dreamed about. It's people like you that I really look up to, and I'm not just blowing up your skirt. I really mean that. You're out there. You're doing what I hope to do one day.
Oh, thank you, man.
That I
Yes,
can look back and say, yeah, I produced these 12 books. Fear
Yeah,
me.
yeah. You
yeah,
know, there have been so many times that I was thinking about quitting because
Yeah. Oh,
it's
yeah,
there's so
it,
much you have to overcome,
it is. Yeah.
and 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 you won't see any return of your investments for a long time. You know,
Do you
and
think the crowdfunding's kind of made it easier?
yes, definitely. Crowdfunding definitely made
Yeah.
it easier because it's very difficult to get into stores. So
yeah.
this
Right.
alone
Right.
makes crowdfunding very viable.
I think
Viable.
I think Apex and I are both on the same sentiment. We respect anybody who has a stunning looking spinner rack like that.
Oh, damn right. I need a spinner
Yeah,
rack. My
you like
God,
my rack? Oh,
that's
Yeah,
a nice rack.
You got a nice rack there.
yeah, thank you.
Let me take a look at that rack. I say that's a
Yeah,
nice
there you
rack.
go. Don't do
Wow,
that.
these
That's embarrassing.
books. These
Yeah,
books.
usually I have more, but I have my own store. And when people order things, so here I place books that are ready to go. So I have them packaged, I have them
Wow,
done.
Yeah, it's a convenient thing, isn't it?
that's
So when
Yeah.
I get
cool.
when I get this order, I only have to pull them out here. And so some books are now gone, like Dream Girl. But I will today I will refill it. So yeah.
So
Awesome.
where did you get your spinner rack? Is it get it from a store or?
No, this is from my other job. So I have other work.
Oh,
I have regular job,
okay.
and they had to get rid of the spinner rack
May
they
I
had
make a
for
suggestion?
flyers.
May I make a suggestion, Dave?
Sure.
Create a header, your company logo, and
Yes,
put it up there.
Oh
I
yeah, man. Right
On
on the
top
I
spinner
of it.
rack.
agree. Yes,
Yeah,
Yeah, the Genuine Comics logo.
yeah.
There you
I
That's
will
go.
what
get
I'm
on
gonna.
that. You're
Yeah,
completely
man.
right. Yes,
Yeah, yeah. That's good. That's good branding, Dave. It's a lot of it's branding, isn't it?
this is right, man. You're right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
And then
everything you do,
before
by the
we,
way, everything you do is branding. You're your own brand, you know. So
yeah,
if you're online on social media, everyone is now on social media. Everyone follows you. Sometimes it's really scary when I think about how many people follow me,
Yeah.
yeah.
and I'm
Oh,
like,
really?
I don't even
so
know them. Who are they? They
yeah.
just
So
seem
you have
cool, but
yeah.
yeah, let's hope they're nice. Yeah.
I get mails sometimes from people I don't know them, but they send me mails. Hey, what you said in that stream or what you
Moderator.
posted there, and they comment on it, and I'm like, like it's a constant reminder that people follow me, and I'm my own brand, so I have to be aware every time I post something, when I,
Yeah.
when I respond to someone else. Um,
Yeah. You have to
yeah,
be socially responsible, right? I mean,
yes,
Yeah, be
if
right.
you
respectful and stuff like that.
one
Yeah.
last question for me, Dave. Who created your logo? Did you do it or did you have it done? Your company
I had it done. It's created by Roland Lammers.
Hmm.
It was
Okay,
created back.
can we see reach behind there and get a comic and show us the logo? That's
Yeah, let's see
there,
that,
there you go.
Dave.
Promote yourself.
Oh, oh, sorry, sorry,
Let's
Yeah.
Ken.
see that logo that I'm
This
talking
logo, you
about.
mean? This
There
logo?
you go.
Oh, the
That up
Genuine
there.
Comics
Yep.
logo. That's beautiful.
Yes, there you
Yep.
go.
Now,
That's
how
real
did you
nice.
select that? I mean, the image, the mask, the face.
This, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. I was still in school when Jamin Comics was conceived.
Really?
And
Wow.
I named it Jamin Comics because my English vocabulary was very limited, and I knew the word genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked the sound, and it meant authentic, and I
Yeah.
wanted to make something authentic. Um,
Uh,
so that's where the name came from, and the mask was just something that I drew first with pencil because
Okay.
I wanted to make something that kind of resembled a superhero.
I like it. That's really
Right.
cool.
Um, and later on we updated the logo, so now it when you zoom in.
Mm.
Wait, let me grab something else. One second.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, look
There
at
you
that. Haha. I saw that. I was like, damn, that looks really cool.
Okay.
go. Now that's
Yeah.
good brand.
Now you
Oh,
can
There
see
you
David
better.
Coffee Cup.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel.
I got this for my birthday.
So where'd you
Oh,
have
that's
that made? The local print shop or what?
Yeah, I think just some online
Yeah.
printing business they do this. But
Yeah.
the logo is basically a comic book laid out. So you see the panels here on the
Yeah.
comic book,
Yeah.
the G. So yeah,
Oh,
That's
that would be
cool,
a
man.
great heat sensitive one,
I love
where
that.
when you pour the hot beverage in there, it changes color.
I need to make a Finback coffee cup.
oh, by the
Yeah.
way, while you're watching, look at this cover. This is the cover. This is the second
Oh,
printing. The
the
second printing
first
of
issue.
the
Love
first
that
issue.
cover.
Beautiful.
The first printing is almost sold out.
I have the
Where
first printing
else
of it.
can
Yeah.
you go get
Oh, lucky bastard!
a
I
red
do.
werewolf? Come on.
Yeah, the
Look at that
red.
red wolf. Wow, he's a
The,
ginger wolf. Yeah.
the
Oh
backside
yeah,
by
there's the ginger.
by Randy.
Ah, she's beautiful.
And
Now,
this
is there a real life actress or someone that character is based on, or is she totally fictional?
yeah, totally fictional.
Okay.
I
Was
bet
even
you
that
could
that,
find one.
that during the creation of issue one, the last moment even her design changed. We had several designs for her, and
Yeah.
Pau started drawing. So he had drawn the first 2 pages of the
Yeah.
book of the first issue, and I saw this photo of a model with this hairstyle, with this
Okay.
this
Okay.
wild short hair, and I was like, "Pow! This is it. This is her. This is her." So we had to go back and redraw the panels with her
Mm.
to this hairstyle. And now
Now with the title Perfect 10, do you give us her body stats? Do you like say her breast or you don't?
No,
I'm really
no, no.
surprised.
It's not. No, no. They,
Oh, it has nothing to do with the title. Okay.
yeah.
no, the title is kind of because she's beautiful,
hot.
right?
You can tell
But
she's
but
hot.
Perfect 10
Right.
refers to
Yeah.
what she is in the book. She is created. She is not human. She is artificial.
Oh,
Okay.
really?
And she
Yeah.
is created by through this project called the Perfection Program,
Mm.
and she is the 10th prototype.
Yeah, prototype.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So this is why she's called the Perfect 10. So you have
Yeah.
Perfect
Yeah.
1, Two Perfect Nine you have also.
Well, forgive me for making the assumption, but she's easy on the eyes, Dave. So she is the
course,
perfect.
man.
She's
Of course.
absolutely a
Yeah, you
knockout.
gotta have a sexy superhero. Come on.
He
This
has
cover,
one, all
man.
right.
This cover, look
Yeah.
at this.
Oh, it's beautiful. Look
This
at
is
that.
by Paul Rodriguez himself.
Is that number 2?
This is number 2. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think after this campaign I will be sold out of this one also.
Holy mackerel.
That's
Oh.
great.
So I have to make a reprint for the next campaign, and then this will have a new cover also.
How many more copies do you have number 2 left?
I think about 300.
Wow.
Oh, okay. It's not so bad.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have a
But
chance
they're
to get
going
one.
fast, so yeah.
Yeah, where did
Go get today.
So is
Sorry?
Perfect 10 your largest print run out of all your titles?
No. My largest print run was my very first book because I didn't know what I was doing.
Oh.
The first issue of Earthling, I had like 1,000.
You overprinted?
Yeah, I was like 1,000 copies. We can sell that, no problem. You
Yeah.
know.
Now, what is your rule of thumb on that when you run a campaign? Because I assume all your books are going to be Indiegogo campaigns, aren't they?
Yeah, probably until Indiegogo maybe goes under. I'm
Right.
hearing some rumors. I'm not.
Oh, really?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we hope that doesn't happen. I know Comicsgate has,
Yeah.
you know,
I am talking tonight on my own channel,
Okay.
JMO Comics, my own
All right.
YouTube channel.
Okay.
I'm talking
Oh.
to Luke Stone about
oh, yeah,
about
yeah, I know. Lou.
alternatives to Indiegogo and Kickstarter. So alternative forms of crowdfunding, because
I
I think
guess that's
in the
for the-
future we might have to redirect our strategies.
Yeah,
Right.
eventually. Yeah, I guess I should have said,
So, what time's that coming on, Dave?
That's 8 o'clock my time. My time. I'm 7 hours ahead.
So 8 p.m.
Oh,
So
you?
7.
So
So
one in the
about 1
afternoon. for
p.m.
you.
Well, 1 p.m.
Yes.
That's not
Yes.
bad. On your channel. Okay. Yeah,
Yes,
check
sir.
that out, guys. Let me get the link for your channel, by the way, before we go. Let me get that.
well, I think you're doing some knockout stuff, Dave. I really do. It's
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. You know, it's when I compare what I made before to what we produce now, there is definitely this. You can see the learning curve. You can see
Uh-huh.
things become much more professional, and it takes a lot of time, a lot of money. You have to network. It takes a lot of disappointments. People will disappoint you.
how
You
much
will-
are you overprinting now, Dave? Over like you run a campaign, you sell so many copies. What percentage would you say you overprint?
Considering that nowadays I sell out, I don't really overprint, but I try to print enough to cover this campaign. So in this case, 500 copies.
That would be, in case of damage for replacements, right?
Yeah, there's always like 10% that you can take out because of
So,
imperfection.
so if anybody's thinking of running a campaign, they should overprint at least by 10% just to be safe and be able to replace damaged books.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then but it's really phenomenal to finally be at this position that I sell out.
Oh yeah, imagine it is.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
outstanding.
produce these books and nobody wants them.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Nobody
hard-
likes to hear
I had a
that.
hard time in the '90s to distribute and stuff like that. I printed 1,000 copies. I sold some, but I didn't sell enough. I still had copies left, but I still have some of those left. But I started selling a little bit more. So,
But through time you sold all 1,000.
through you,
That-
through
that's
time.
great.
So I still have maybe less than 100 left. That's not bad.
That's great,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Throughout
That
the
takes
years.
time.
That
takes
does.
time, man.
Yeah.
Well, to get rid of those overage on your first book of Earthling, you might need to do a convention,
Oh yeah,
Yeah, right.
man.
or something
well,
like that.
Well, no, I only have a few left right now.
Okay.
Okay, so they're
issue.
dwindling down. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
cool, man.
As you become more successful, they're easier to get rid of, aren't they?
Yes, yes. Now
Oh, that's
people want them.
sweet.
Yeah.
And
Now,
I was also offering the Give Me Everything perk on my latest campaign, so people could get all the books that we produced. So
yeah.
they also got the older material, and that really helped. Suddenly, I had like 200 orders, like
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so that's great.
That's great.
Excellent,
I wish I had
guys.
200 orders.
That's
I had
cool.
to hurry up and get my book out.
All right.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
nice. Okay, guys, I'm going to wind it down. I got to take Mom to church in the morning. So,
Oh, wow. Yes.
yeah. So, Dave, go ahead and promote yourself, your channel, and where they can get your book.
Okay, my Twitter handle is this, Jamin
All
Comics.
right.
You can follow me
Yeah.
there. I have my YouTube channel called Jamin Comics. I try to make weekly content there. And I'm on Instagram and Facebook with the same names. But my Facebook, Jamin Comics page Facebook is terrible, man.
Yeah.
For business pages. So it's best to just follow my personal account there, Dave Brink. So
When you do broadcast on YouTube, do you send it over to Facebook on your page to watch there?
no, should I
You
do
don't? I do.
that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think because I know I've got viewers that normally don't watch the show on YouTube.
Yeah.
Old classmates or old friends or whatever that are connected that way.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And I get those views too. I mean, they like to
Yeah.
keep abreast of me.
Rex, go and type in your YouTube channel and your Devil Flyer where they can get on Indiegogo in the chat if you would.
Okay.
Real quick.
I can do that.
But yeah, and in the meantime, you can catch me on my channel. I'm recently doing some drawing videos, inking videos, 3 inking videos so far, inking with Apex. I'm going to do a coloring type video this coming week, so catch it there on my channel. And of course, next week we'll have another episode of Apex After Dark. I have to look for a guest, but that'll be fun. So yeah. All right,
Great.
now we got. Go ahead, there, Rex. Promote your channel and your.
Okay.
book. Yeah.
All right. So I have my book up on Indiegogo, which I'm looking up right now, just so I can put the link in there for everybody. But
Yeah.
and it's
Oh,
under
Rex,
Devil
Rex, you
Flyer.
have to change your channel name, man. It's you can change your channel name into Devil Flyer or whatever you want.
Oh, it is. It's that you can find me under Devil Flyer Momentum
Oh,
on
of course,
YouTube,
yeah.
on
Yeah.
Instagram, and on Twitter, and
Ah,
Facebook. Well, Facebook's a little different, but
sweet.
yeah, I kept it simple. The branding's simple. Just stay with Devil Flyer, and I'll be okay.
Excellent.
You'll get to find out why he's called Devil Flyer in a way. I mean, in a roundabout way.
That's a good story. And there it is, folks. There's his Indiegogo link there. Check it out. Get an ash can today. You get, was it up to 20 pages, including the cover, right? Plus 2 trading cards, right?
Yeah. Yes. It'll be 2
Cool.
separate books. Going to publish them 10 pages and 10 pages.
Ah, nice.
I just have to get some artwork in, and then we will see about getting everything printed up and distributed out here pretty soon.
Ah, beautiful. Oh, man, that's so cool. All right. Very nice. And everyone, please subscribe to these gentlemen's channels and mine as well if you haven't already. Next week, we'll find out what kind of guests we'll have next week. Another episode of Apex After Dark. Thanks for the wonderful people in the chat. Temperini Tube, yes, Tempergini, and you got Captain Time Lord Spock, of course, the wonderful Ice Queen, and Shadowhawk, he was here earlier. Death Pusher was here. And among these wonderful people.
Hopefully, we didn't run them all off. I know it's late.
Yeah. Oh, Jens was here. Yeah, he came in earlier.
What
Thanks for
time is
coming.
it there, Dave? Right now?
It's now
Excellent.
20 past 9. So
Plus 9.
Okay.
Wow. Very cool. Carrie was here. Yay.
Hey, Carrie.
I think that was
She may still be here, knowing Carrie.
could
She wasn't
be.
all the way through.
There's only one person that's still watching, and it's
Oh,
Milton.
well, that's me. So don't get
Okay.
too.
All right, everyone. Just have a great rest of the weekend, a great week. And as always, till next time, ciao for now.
bye, guys.